Okay, we are live. What's going on, guys? What is going on? Hopefully you guys are keeping well. Hopefully you're keeping well. Shit, what we doing here? I'm trying to do something in the background here. Bear with me for one moment. Okay. Sorry, bear with me. Shit. Literally be 1 second. Uno momento. But anyway, boxing time. What's up, Kyle? How you doing? Hopefully you're keeping well, bro. On this fine Wednesday evening here in the UK. It's fucking grim as fuck out here, man. It's wet, it's windy, it's horrible. It's fucking horrible, man. Honestly, it's fucking grim. But it is what it is. What can you do? What can you do? What can you do? Should have really sorted this before I started the stream, but oh well. It is what it is. Anyway, bang. Should be done. Okay. What's up, G-Man? How you doing, bro? Hopefully you're keeping well, G-Man. Big up to Carlos Mendoza as well. Big up to the boss. Who wins? Inoue or Stephen Fulton? I think Inoue late, I would say the boss. I would favour Inoue late. Nicholas Curry, salute. Yeah, it's that time of year, Kyle. It's that time of year where you're going to pick up some like illnesses and whatnot, but it is what it is, man. I've had a bit of a sore throat recently, but can't complain too much. Yeah, I'm good, bruv. I'm good. Good fight, G-Man. Good fight. Good test for Robesi Ramirez. Since that early defeat in his career, that was on his pro debut. He's come back well. He's looked good in recent fights. Dogbay is a tough guy. Being a world champion, of course, hard puncher, experienced. That's going to be a big test for Ramirez. I would favor Ramirez. He's a far better boxer, but listen, man, Dogbay can hit. He's a tough guy, and he'll go there to try and take his head off. It's a good fight. I think that's a good fight. But I favor Ramirez. Facts, G-Man. My immune system, I have that original prototype immune system, the pure blood immune system. Don't set me off, G-Man. Christ. What chance do you give Catterall winning the rematch? And does Taylor move up regardless of result? So listen, based on that first fight, of course, Catterall has a chance. It's a year later. It's going to be harder for Taylor to make weight. So yeah, Catterall's got a chance, but I do believe Taylor is he's really going to step up his game in this fight. I think last time around he made the weight badly. He wasn't taking Catterall seriously. I think he'll alleviate some of that in this fight. I think he'll win this rematch. And yeah, afterwards, I think he goes up to 147. Good fight, Kyle. Both guys are punchers. Both guys, in my opinion, have major deficiencies. I would favor Ryan Garcia, though. I would favor Ryan Garcia. How is Ryan Garcia going to close the distance? How's Tank going to close the distance? If Ryan Garcia is pouring the jab, taking the half step back, we saw against Hector Garcia, Tank was lunging in at times. That's going to be disaster against a guy like Ryan Garcia. If Ryan Garcia can get his distance down and measure Tank with his jab, take the half step back, and then, Tank then starts to get desperate, I think Tank's getting knocked out. I really do. I know I'm in the minority with that fight. I feel like most are picking Tank, but I've got Ryan Garcia. I think size matters, and Tank's a midget. Tank is a manlet. Tank's the type of guy. I'm sure there's certain theme parks out there who would refuse entry to this guy. He's that small. He's a manlet. I'm on the old Carlsberg to Carlsberg export, G-man. My first drink since New Year's Eve. You mean against Dempsey McKean? Easy fight for AJ. Easy fight. I don't blame him though. He's coming back 2 losses. It is what it is. We expect that sort of opponents. The only thing I would say, if the zone have any common sense, they would put this on regular DAZN, because it would be a great way of attracting new subscribers. So let's say AJ's fighting in April, have that fight on regular DAZN, and then have a really strong schedule afterwards. So the guys who AJ attracts to subscribe, they're going to stick on for the schedule, that sort of thing. But we all know they're going to put that on pay-per-view. But it should be a non-pay-per-view, in my opinion. It should be a non-pay-per-view. I mean, it's one of those fights, Nicholas. One of those fights where it's been talked about for so long now. I'm really burned out on it. Until it happens, that's when I'll start getting serious about it. But listen, of course I want it to happen. I would favor Fury, but Usyk has a great chance. Usyk's got a chance in that fight. How does Taylor do against the likes of Bouts and Ortiz? Again, if and when Taylor moves up, I would want to see him in there with a tune-up fight at 147 first. To see how he looks at the weight, to get him used to the weight before I started making predictions. I'm not sitting on the fence, but, well, I kind of am. Yeah, if Garcia boxes from distance, in my opinion, he schools him for most of the rounds, then he stops him in the later stages. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'll say this right now. I'll make this claim right now. I think Gervonta Davis is the single most overrated fighter in the sport of boxing. There you go. Who's he fought? Who's this guy fought since Pedraza? Who's he fought? And we've been seeing the deficiencies in Tank. When you're losing rounds to Rolly Romero, there's a big problem. I don't give a fuck whether Tank knocked him out. If you're this pound for pound level talent, you do not lose rounds to Rolly Romero. You do not get out jabbed by Rolly Romero. It's just that simple. Listen, Tank's day is coming. To me, it's obvious, but I mean, he's fighting nobody. So listen, if the Garcia fight happens, I'm picking Garcia. If Tank wins, then I'll give him his credit. Until that happens, I'm not sold on Tank. I'm not sold on Tank at all. Nicholas, I just hope it happens. What's up, Stephen? Yeah, it's a bit rough, bro. It's a bit rough. The 90s, salute. Do it on Australia. Good shout, yeah. Exactly, yeah. They're having a go at AJ for fighting McKean, but still gave Fury a pass for fighting Chisora, yeah. Well, that's it, though. Fanboys on any side, they don't really care about getting the best fights or getting the best product, etc. Ultimately, we are consumers as boxing fans. But regardless, these fanboys, they will just do damage control for their guy, no matter who they're fighting. If they're fighting bums or they're fighting once a year, they're going to do damage control. And that's going to be... that has started to really irritate me, quite frankly. And I'm going to start reflecting that in my content as well. I'm going to be a lot more hard line with my approach to boxing, because ultimately I don't particularly need this. I've been doing this for many years now, just out of love for boxing. But I feel like I need to change my approach up. I'm going to be a little more hard line with how I do my content on certain topics. If it's something I'm genuinely excited about, then I'll show that. Like, for example, February, 2 really good fights that I'm looking forward to genuinely. Lee Wood versus Maurizio Lara. That is pure violence. I think it's going to be a real fight. Either guy can get knocked out. Tremendous fight. Subrio Matias versus Jeremiah Ponce on the 25th of February. Great fight. When it comes to fights like that, I'm going to be me. I'm going to praise them, etc., and actually be positive. But at the same time, I'm going to be a lot more hardline on the shit I don't like when I actually can be bothered to make a video. I'm going to try and switch things up on this channel. Put it that way. I'm going to try and switch things up. So I'm going to be a lot more bombastic, I think I will say. My opinion on Tank versus Garcia is that Garcia should have just kept fighting instead of letting Tank dictate when to halt for bouts, regardless how should stuff like that be handled. I keep fighting. I know what you're referring to. You're referring to when the crowd fight happened, right? I stop fighting when the referee tells me to stop fighting. That's the only thing that really matters, right? Ortiz versus Boots, to me, I hope to be wrong. But to me, that is like 2024, 2025's version of Crawford versus Spence. I truly hope I'm wrong. I truly, truly hope I'm wrong. But I doubt I am. I doubt that fight happened when it should happen, Yeah, Ryan Garcia has got real power, in my opinion, and he's got speed, he's got size, he's got reach. He should beat Tank. In my opinion, he should beat Tank. The amount of credit that Tank fanboys give him is crazy. Yeah, I mean, look at his resume. That says it all. And look at who he hasn't fought in that time. Yeah, Ryan definitely has his own flaws. I don't like it how he backs up with his chin in the air. I think he's open in the exchanges. His chin in general is questionable, to say the least. Yeah, he's got problems, no doubt. But if he can keep a measured jab in that fight, I think he's got a great chance. I really do. Yeah, I like Boots, but the thing is, though, he needs to learn from that. He needs to learn from that fight against Karen and come back soon. I would say come back mid to late April and fight somebody decent. Stay active, get rounds. Again, Boots Ennis, one of the hottest up-and-comers in boxing right now. He had 4 minutes of action last year. 4 minutes against Castillo Clayton. Second round knockout. That's not enough. It's never going to be enough when you're up and coming. So he needs to come back ASAP. I would say late April and fight someone like Cody Crowley, for example. Yeah, Porter would have been ideal. But he's retired now. Danny Garcia would be another one who I wouldn't mind seeing in with Boots. Yeah, bro, and that's the whole YTBC as well, barring a few channels. It's all cliquey, it's all fanboying over certain promoters or certain fighters. I've honestly, at this point in time, I've really had enough of it. That fight, though, Kyle, has been postponed by a couple of weeks, I believe. Apparently, Stanionis has appendicitis. Yeah, I don't really know much about the case, to be honest with you, Stephen. All I know really was the judge rejected the plea deal. That's all I know. That's all I know. I'm not sure what sentence that carries in America, hit and run and fleeing a scene. You'd be better advising me on that one. Yeah, take away Tank's power and he's dog shit. But that power will get you a long way. Yeah, it will. But again, we've seen this pattern with so many fighters. Who was the most obvious one in recent years? Deontay Wilder. I only have to be perfect for 2 seconds. Well, look at what happened when you weren't. And that's the same with Tank. I don't care what the judges' scorecard said in that Hector Garcia fight. That was a very close fight. Arguably, Tank was losing. On many people's cards, he was. Again, embarrassing. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Keith Thurman is Errol Spence's mandatory at 147 with the WBC. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. And yet here we have him fighting Keith Thurman at 154 with no titles on the line. Again, I'll be honest, I'm sick to death of Errol Spence. I'm sick to death of Terence Crawford. I'm sick to death of this fight being talked about. These guys, as far as I'm concerned, could give a fuck less. Who's to blame? They are a cancer on the welterweight division. Either fight each other or fuck off and vacate. That's how I see it. Let Boots fight for a title. Let Ortiz fight for a title. You know? Tired of it. Really am tired of it. But Spence versus, and again, Spence versus Thurman, it's not a bad fight, but make it a 147. Seriously. He's definitely hyped up, but I think he's got talent. I do think he's got talent. But again, it's up to him though, isn't it? It's up to him to be active. It's up to him to learn from that last fight and get better. I mean, the ball's in his court. And by the way, that shot that he caught Hector with, obviously it connected. It was a hard shot, but to me, Hector never looked hurt. He didn't really look that hurt. His legs were quite steady. He was still evading shots that were coming at him. That was a complete quit job. And nobody called it out. It was either a quit job or a dive. One of the two. Because he was fine. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Oh, I couldn't see. When was he caught in the eye? You tell me that. Yeah, shit fight. It's not a shit fight, but if that's the fight to happen next, do it at 147. Defend your titles. Good fight. I'd lean towards Essoman because he's more busy, more aggressive, but Congo's got a good shot. I'd say 60-40 to Essoman, but I'm not really sold either way. Good fight, though. Good fight. Lee Wood versus Maurizio Lara. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Lee Wood's he is a sharp counterpuncher, hits hard as well. He throws good straight shots, especially his straight right hand. And Lara takes a lot of risks. He comes in square. He leads with hooks. He could easily get caught with a big straight right hand coming in and get knocked out. I could see that happening. I could. But if he gets on Lee Wood's chest, I don't think he can really fight with Lara up close. I don't believe so. And you could see Lee Wood melt in that situation. But it's a fight between two punchers. It's a fight between two punchers who have vulnerabilities. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm favouring Lara by knockout, but I can see it going either way. It's a great fight. Yeah, Boots should fight Cody Crowley, Stanionis, Mean Machine, etc. But yeah, both little guys. Yeah, exactly. Mikal Fox is a good idea. Yeah, very awkward guy, tall, rangy. Yeah, defensively sound. Yeah, Rocha, good shout. Even the guy who beat Rashidi Ellis, I wouldn't complain about. I would love that, Kyle. I would love that, but we all know it's not going to happen, unfortunately. I can never say your name, bro. I can never say your name. Guy Habib. AJ, yeah. Joshua versus McKean. It is better than Washington or Areola, yeah. But McKean's not great, in my opinion. I don't think he's great, but it's a comeback fight. He's unbeaten, he's big, he's tall, he's rangy. It's okay. But again, if the zone had any sense, they would put that fight non-pay-per-view and try to get some subscribers from it, and then have a strong schedule afterwards to keep some of these new subs on. Yeah, I know, bro. It's fucking insane. And by the way, when was the last time Errol Spence fought like an IBF Mando? When was the last time Errol Spence fought his IBF Mando? Carlos Acampa? What was that, 2018, 2019? I agree. I'm tired of them. Yeah, talented guys, but fighting once a year, not fighting each other, the back and forths. I'm just tired of it. I really am. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as a boxing fan, you get used to settling for scraps and leftovers. Don't expect anything significant from the big names, and you'll be happier overall. Yeah, I think that might be the key though. Like, it's fights like Lara versus Wood that get me they're the sort of fights that get me excited these days. Matias versus Ponce, those sort of fights. They're the sort of fights that usually deliver more. Fights that go under the radar but are really competitive matchups. I mean, what else can I say about Conor Benn? We'll see. We'll see. Again, he's another guy who I don't really care for, to be honest. Exactly. If he's going to move up, just move up. Just move up. Seriously. I mean, when are the IBF going to order Boots versus Spence? Bear in mind, Boots versus Clayton was billed as an IBF eliminator. Now he's won the interim title. So when's that fight going to be ordered? That's a decent fight. But again, should it be pay-per-view? No, I'll steal it. We'll have to steal that one. It's a decent fight. What's up, Tom? How are you doing? Do you think Kosovo and Serbia would go to war this year? It's the Balkans. It happens all the time there. I mean, possibly. There's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of posturing, I would say, as of right now. But that's never good. That's never good. I mean, I guess now's the time to do it if you're Serbia, right? But I don't know personally. I don't know. It's a part of the world that I don't really know too much about the Balkans, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. But I'm doing good, Tom. Yeah, I'm doing good. I mean, Andrew Tate. I think Andrew Tate is a bit of a shill, to be honest. I think the guy is, an agent provocateur, in my opinion, Andrew Tate. But that's just my opinion in regards to what's going on now with this whole trafficking thing. It may just be theatre. I don't know, really. I don't know. Again, it's one of those things. I can extrapolate some things that Andrew Tate says, and I agree with. Like, for example, in relation to COVID, or the distrust in government. I agree with all that sort of thing. But like, at the same time, man, I don't think that guy's message comes from a good place. And in many aspects, I don't believe it's good for society, quite frankly. And again, he's just pushing that divide further in society, which makes us far easier to control as a people. So I believe Andrew Tate he's an agent provocateur. Whether he knows it or not, I'm not sure. By the way, this guy's dad was a CIA spook, so it is what it is. Throwing up those Masonic signs, top G in the Masonic Lodge is the most important letter. 33 cars. Yeah, this guy's a shill. Guy's a shill. What's up, Reese? How you doing? My 33 supercars. Oh man. But Andrew Tate really is just a symptom of today's society. Like there are so few male, like masculine role models starting in the home. Even if kids have a dad, usually they're like completely what's the word I would use for what's the word I would use? They are just wishy-washy, damp rags, and that's who there's very few masculine role models these days, and that's why someone like Andrew Tate can fill that void. But the dangerous thing is when someone fills that void who doesn't have the best intentions of men at heart, and I believe that's what Andrew Tate is. I don't believe he's got men's best intentions at heart. I believe he's just an agent. It's ironic because the Matrix this, the Matrix that. I believe Andrew Tate is the Matrix. But there you go. Yeah, exactly, Lewis. I can't see it. I think Spence beats him. Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. It should be entertaining, but again, shouldn't be on pay-per-view. Should not be on pay-per-view. In my opinion, should not be on pay-per-view. Yeah, maybe. But again, Eubank these days, I've not been impressed with Eubank's last few fights. I've not been that impressed, to be honest with you. Yeah, he's got speed. He's got speed. He's got some decent athleticism, but I don't know. Oh, is that happening, XMB? Is that happening? Yeah, I heard about that, but I never saw the announcement, XMB. And I would need to look at that guy as well. I would need to look at him. I'm not sure if he's any good or not. Yeah, I agree. Chris Eubank Jr. is decent to watch. Cardio monster. Yeah, he's got a good gas tank, Chris. I think he'll beat Liam Smith personally. I don't think he'll stop him. Liam Smith covers up really well. He's got a good guard. I think he'll get outpointed though. I do. Basically, yeah, the dads are like second mothers. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Reese. And also, like, he's like one of the. I've heard him talk about like the nuclear family in the West being destroyed. Things of that nature. Boys not having their fathers in their lives, which is all true, and yet he's preaching a lifestyle that is the complete opposite of that. Having multiple kids with multiple women, bloody bloody blah. I mean, he's just the antithesis of what he preaches. February is looking good, Brandon. It is looking good. Yeah, yeah. Look, they're the two fights I'm looking at as well. Lara versus Wood and Ponce versus Matias. Yeah, good fights. Ali Drew, how you doing? How you doing? But yeah, this month we've had Tank Davis versus Garcia. We've got Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr. There's not too many other fights, really, is there? Stephen Shaw versus F.A. Ajagba this weekend. That's a decent fight. I actually think that's a decent fight. It's a good test for Stephen Shaw. Stephen Shaw's what, 16, 17-0, unbeaten American heavyweight. And he's going to be going in there with F.A. Ajagba. So I think that's a decent fight. I think that's a decent fight. Yeah, and this whole notion of him being cancelled again, like somebody who is truly cancelled, do you think he'll be getting interviews with the likes of Piers Morgan? Or being discussed openly on mainstream media? It's like, I've seen a few clips of him. I'll be honest, XMB. I've not seen a whole lot, but he looks capable. He looks relatively capable. His best result so far is knocking out Joey DeWaco. He's all right. All time or right now, Sleepy? Right now, it's Subriel Matias. All time, I've got to go Tito Trinidad, sorry. All time is Trinidad. Right now, it's Matias. No, we're not looking at the misfit boxing shit, are we? Jesus. Good fight, yeah. Anderson versus Shaw. If Shaw wins, if Shaw beats Ajagba, Anderson versus Shaw would be a really good fight to make. Yeah, Levi Khan. Big up to Levi Khan, by the way. Big up to Levi. Yeah, people don't like to admit it, but many people were picking Lucas Brown to win that fight. Believe it or not, they were. They can listen. They can deny they were, but they were. No idea about either one, to be honest. Never seen either guy fight. Big up Dell, is Moses Atalma the future of the heavyweight division, or is it typical Brits getting carried away? To be honest, again, I've not seen any footage from Moses. All I know is he's 18 years old, highly touted. We shall see. We shall see. Hopefully, Frank doesn't make the same mistake he made with Daniel Dubois in regards to soft matchmaking and then chucking him in there at the deep end. Yeah, but again, I always look at. I don't necessarily condemn people for following Andrew Tate, but at the same time, I think you've got to look at it as in, why is someone like Andrew Tate so popular in today's society? And I think it is because of what I said. I just think there's a lack of masculine role models this day and age. The water's been muddied a bit too much, in my opinion. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. I'm not into misfit boxing, but I'm so pissed I don't get to see Dylan Dennis get knocked out by a YouTuber. Hate that guy. Yeah, he's a bit of a prick, any. I know who he is. Yeah. I'll have to watch it back. I've seen bits of that fight, but I've not seen the whole thing. So I will need to watch it back properly. Yeah, I reckon mid rounds. I think Yard will survive early on. I think Beterbiev might be respectful of that speed early, but I think he'll start to grind Yard down quite quickly and more than likely stop him mid rounds. Yeah, I like both. Jalalov, 6'7" southpaw, good feet, decent jab, good straight left hand. I'd like to see more variety in his work, but he's got a lot of good. He's got good, solid fundamentals, and same with Kozabuski though. He's also a southpaw. He's a smaller heavyweight though. He's like 6'3", maybe 6'4". Good body puncher for a heavyweight. Good counter puncher. Decent hand speed. Half decent power. I think he might be fighting Makhmudov next. I might be wrong though. I might be wrong. I would say Tank will. I would say personally, Tank will go in as the slight favourite. That's what I'm assuming anyway. I think Tank more than likely goes in as a slight favourite. It's insane, Navzila. Like, they literally quote this guy word for word. Not even ironically either. Yeah, I'm sure some people do, but like, bro, it's cult level. It is cult level. What's up, Bruce? How you doing, bro? Yeah, F.A. Ajagba might lose to Stephen Shaw when they fight. People sleeping on Shaw. He's a good boxer, and Ajagba can't box eggs. Ajagba is bigger though, and he's got more power, and he's fought better competition. So, yeah, Ajagba's got more experience in the pros, but he's not a great boxer. He's a stiff jab, straight right hand, and that's really all he's got. He's not particularly quick. He's not elusive. And one thing I didn't like in that Frank Sanchez fight was when he went down, like, I don't know, he checked out basically, in my opinion, in that fight. I felt he checked out in that fight, personally. Did you see Conor McGregor like tweets? He's some gay devil worshipping guy. Khabib broke him. I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it. Combat Rage. I'll have to look it. I'll have to look on Twitter. I'm not surprised though. If that's true. I'm not a fan of any of the Royals, to be honest with you, bro. I'm not a fan of any of them. I could care less what goes on with those degenerates. Fans are funny when it comes to White. I'm not saying he's an elite guy anymore, but tons of fans picked Brown, Parker, Rivas, Povetkin to Chisora, and even Dave Allen to beat him, but call him a bum. Yeah, who did I pick to beat Dillian White? I picked him to beat Chisora, Brown. I actually picked him in both Povetkin fights. I think I may have picked Parker. But I picked him to beat everyone else on that list. I know I did. I'm pretty certain I did. Because I even said in my Povetkin first fight with Povetkin, I said my official prediction is Dillian White, but given the odds, I suggest you lump some money on Povetkin. So I kind of, Alex Balefield. I don't even know who that is. I'll be real with you. I picked Parker and Chisora first fight to beat White out of all of those. Could argue Chisora did, to be fair, was very close. Yeah, it was a very close fight. The thing with FA though, his jab is so one-paced. It's a powerful jab, but it's so one-paced. You can't really flick the jab out and use it as a rangefinder. It's just a power jab all the time, a stiff jab, and it's slow. He throws it pretty well, but it's slow. Yeah, it's a good fight, man. I've got Benavidez, personally. I agree with your assessment, yeah. I think Plant gives him trouble early with his boxing when he's fresh. But as that fight plays out, I think you'll see Benavidez start to grind him down, get closer to him, and then start to beat him up in the second half of that fight, probably stopping him late. It's a good fight, though. Yeah, there was that as well. He was just following Frank Sanchez around all fight long. All fight long. I mean, but we saw his limitations in that fight with Frank Sanchez. But Frank Sanchez, in my opinion, he's a decent fighter. He's a decent fighter. Leave us royals alone. I'm very sweet to all young children. Fucking hell. Oh, you got Plant. You got Plant over Benavidez. Yeah, I got Benavidez in that one. Yeah, exactly. Exactly for... Again, he's the antithesis of what he preaches. True that as well. Yeah, that Parker fight was very... It was officiated really poorly, in my opinion. I wouldn't mind seeing it again, to be honest. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I think it'd be worth running back. Because neither guy's really going to fight for a world title again. I think it will benefit both in all seriousness. Both guys are pretty big welterweights, especially Spence. I think it will favour both. You know, I think it will favour both. I think, honestly, I don't think it will really favour one guy more than the other. I think it'll be pretty even in that regard. Speaking of bad referees in the Parker fight, Ian John Lewis is filing a lawsuit because he was the only Taylor Catterall judge to get demoted. Yeah. There you go. I'm not really sure. Maybe. I'm not sure what Paul Canelo has over here. Will fans buy into it? I'm not sure. More than likely, it probably will do. It will do really well, but can it sell out 60,000? Not sure. Not sure. Against John Ryder? Not sure. I agree, XMB. At lightweight, I agree. My great gran has a better jab than Wilder, a better resume too. Yeah, exactly. It makes more sense in America. It makes more sense in America. He is bigger than Furman, but like Furman's fought at 154 in the past when he was coming up. Like Furman's not small. He's not small, and he's older as well. He's so inactive, Furman. So I don't, I think that 154 will help Furman as well. I know, right? Yeah, I wish I could go back and bet on that fight, but it is what it is. Who do I think Josh Kelly should fight next? Good question. Someone like James Metcalf, I would say. James Metcalf? Yeah, I'd say James Metcalf. Defend that British title, then maybe go for the European and go from there. Yeah, Joyce isn't catching fire in the UK like White did. White was selling out the O2 Arena and hit 500,000 pay-per-view buys with the right opponents. Yeah, Joyce isn't getting anywhere near those type of numbers. Correct. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And that's a shame, really, because I actually think Joyce is more exciting to watch. I prefer watching Joyce. He's fighting, well, there's rumours going around he's going to fight Ryan Rozicki from Canada, which will be a decent fight. Yeah, especially now, bro. Especially now. He'll stop Dillian White. Yeah, that would sell out in the UK. In a stadium. That would sell out, yeah. It's just that John Ryder, nobody knows who he is. Yeah, that's another good fight. They could make that fight as well. Yeah, Eggington versus Josh Kelly. That could happen. That could work. Again, yeah, so someone like, Sam Eggington or James Metcalf, those sort of guys, yeah. To be fair though, I always think Joe Joyce would be a hard sell to casuals. But yeah, being with Frank doesn't really help, you know. Yeah, that's interesting because it looks like Fury Usyk more than likely is going to happen. And as you said, Wilder might fight Ruiz. AJ's going to do his comeback thing. I mean, maybe someone like Pulev, like an old veteran, maybe they could make that fight. I wouldn't be surprised if it's someone like Pulev, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if it's someone like Pulev. But yeah, they're going to struggle for his next opponents because he's in a really good position. So they're not really going to want to risk it. But at the same time, he's got to fight someone. So I wouldn't be shocked if it's Pulev or someone like that. Joyce versus Chisora. That's cruel, Reese. Ever feel like killing yourself? Watch Broner versus Maidana. That's a good shout. It's a good shout. Yeah, I stayed up for that fight when it happened. Like 5 a.m. that fight started. Honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. I've genuinely forgot the last time I stayed up for a fight. I want to say it was Wilder Fury 3 because I was around at friends. We was all together after a night out. I want to say it was Wilder Fury 3. Might be wrong though. Might be wrong. I just struggle these days to stay up till the crack of dawn to watch these fights. Yeah, we do sit down. We do, bro. Need to get something popping. Why did Margarito get thrown under the bus for allegedly loading gloves with no concrete evidence? Your guess is as good as mine. I guess he was a problem at the time. But yeah, I've been meaning to make a video on that and going back through that. But that's one of those videos that will take a bit of time to research. And I don't really have the time right now. Joyce Ruiz, I think Joyce fucks Ruiz up. Ruiz is too small. And he can't match Joyce for work rate. Yes, he can do some work on the inside and do some. He'll land some good shit now and again, but he'll get run over, in my opinion. What do you think happens to CJNG if El Mencho gets killed by another cartel? I'm sure he's got his replacements in line already. Maybe his brother Abraham will take control. Antonio's arrested already, so maybe Abraham takes control. Or maybe it turns into a civil war for control. Who knows? Prime Haye versus Prime Joshua. That's a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. Like, David Haye never really... He always kind of struggled against real tall guys. Like, even Valiev. That fight was very close, and Valiev couldn't move out of his own way. And he obviously got schooled by Klitschko. I know it's kind of easy to kind of be down on Joshua right now, but it's not an easy fight for David Haye. I say it's 50-50. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Not really sure. I might lean towards AJ, believe it or not. Not sure. Ortiz could happen. Yeah, he's another veteran. Ortiz could happen. Frank Sanchez is... I don't think they'll go near Frank Sanchez because of his style. He's not well known. It's a risk. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. So yeah, it wasn't concrete. It was one piece of gauze that was contaminated with traces of some substances that is in plaster of Paris. But like that's hardly damning evidence of someone loading their gloves. Nazim Richards basically, Nazim Richards basically said, "Oh, bricks fell out of his gloves, like blocks fell out of his gloves." Never happened. You can see the sample online. Well, you could. I'm pretty sure you still can. It's a bit of gauze that apparently was contaminated with some substances, some of the substances that make up plaster of Paris, like traces, I mean, he could have done that if he was punching a wall or pushing his wraps into the wall. Who knows? Joyce versus Huey Fury. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Oh, what shit? That is true. That is true. Yeah, AJ's not great at cutting the ring off, but at the same time, like Valuev was able to get close to David Haye, but he never had the speed or agility to get to him. Like that fight with David Haye was close. And listen, AJ's a lot better than fucking Valuev. That's an even that's more interesting to me because Wilder could wipe Haye out, but at the same time, if he fires that right hand and falls short, and David Haye explodes with his overhand right, Wilder's getting knocked out. Again, to me, that's a 50-50. But somebody's getting knocked out. Zhang would be good. Zhang would be good for AJ's next opponent. Yeah, I'd be happy with that, to be honest. Wouldn't be shocked XMB 45 with the way boxing goes. That's a good shout, actually. I'm not sure why. It's a good question. Yeah, I think you may be right. I think you may be right, Reese. Again, though, I think Joyce fucks up Huey Fury. Huey will make it ugly. He'll survive for quite a few rounds. I've got Joe Joyce, but Makhmudov can punch hard, but his defense is so open. I know Joyce's is, but like Joyce shows me a lot more than Makhmudov. Better jab, far better jab in my opinion. Better punch output. I've seen more variety to Joyce's game. I would say Joyce. Joyce grinds him down. I would say, but it's a good fight. It's a really good fight. He is a trier, isn't he, Mick Hennessy? Yeah, he is a trier. He is a trier. Yeah, Valuev had a great chin. I mean, so he should, man. The guy was big as fuck. His head was fucking huge. Same. I couldn't stand Bellew. Couldn't stand Bellew. Yeah, he was beating. I agree as well. I think he was beating. Bellew until his leg went. He was looking bad though. He was still looking bad. Good fight actually. Ray Vargas versus Oshaki Foster. Good fight. I think I'll lean towards Vargas. Good fight though. Yeah, Hrgovic to me he's fell off a cliff. His development hasn't been good. He's been too inactive. I don't think he's been stepped up quick enough. And to me, he looks like he's stagnated. And his last performance against Zili Zhang was, I don't know, man, really, really poor. Really poor. So I'll go with Joe Joyce again. I don't think Hrgovic has a really good shin. So does Joe Joyce stop Hrgovic? If he stops Hrgovic, I mean, it'll be late. But I just think Joyce outworks Hrgovic in a 12-round fight. I really do. Yeah, I think Haye's leg was already damaged going into the fight. Yeah, there was rumours of it, Reese. There was rumours of it, his Achilles. Because there was rumours before the fight, he went to see a German doctor like 2 days before, like 3 or 4 days before the fight. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Reese. Yeah. Yeah, David Haye just fell off a cliff, man. I wish David Haye was more active in his prime. I wish he was more active in his prime and he took some more fights, like at cruiserweight and at heavyweight. So at cruiserweight, guys like Thomas Adamek, Steve Cunningham, for example. At heavyweight, a Povetkin, for example, you know. But yeah, that was the rumor going into that fight. It was on Fight Week. Those rumors came out on social media. One second. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I heard Hearn say, yeah, I watched that. Yeah, I watched the interview, believe it or not, and I'm not sure about that. I know Bivol a small 175, but still, man, if Canelo wants to make that right, he needs to go back to 175. As far as I'm concerned. To be honest, Crazy, I've not seen much of him. Who the fuck knows, though? Yeah, Haye versus Povetkin would have been great. Yeah, no doubt. Would have been amazing. What's your big prediction for 2023? I've got Benavidez stopping Canelo this year. We will get Fury versus Usyk, but no chance of Spence versus Crawford. I agree with you on Spence Crawford. I don't think it happens. I don't think Benavidez gets a Canelo fight. I hope we get Fury Usyk. I think that's the most likely to happen. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of either, to be honest. Not a particularly big fan of either, but there you go. Seconds. Yeah, Povetkin Haye would have been a classic. I think Haye would have had to done that early, though. I think Haye would have had to done it early. Would have been a great fight, though, man. I think that's one of those fights where somebody gets knocked out. I really do. I think somebody would have got knocked out. Povetkin's a much better technical fighter than David Haye. But David Haye had the speed, had the athleticism, and he obviously had power himself. Would have been a great fight, man. I got a funny feeling that David Haye would have been caught with something big, like a counter, as he lunges in. I'd probably lean towards Povetkin. It'd be a great fight, though. It would have been a great fight. I'm fucking hyped today, guys. Funnily enough, Haye and Povetkin were in deep talks before the Klitschko fight was signed. Povetkin was Haye's Mando for the WBA. Looking back, that fight should have happened instead. Yeah, that would have been a great fight. But Povetkin back then was a bit of a no-name. Not a no-name, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it was Klitschko Haye. It was, well, the Klitschko brothers and Haye, basically. That was it. You had Fury coming up. You had David Price coming up. You had Wilder coming up. But really, it was Haye, Vladimir, and Vitali. I miss that era, believe it or not. I miss that era. I kind of liked that era. Maybe I'm just being nostalgic, but top 3 fighters you want to see get beat this year. I'll rephrase it. 3 fighters, 3 of the top fighters who I think will be beat this year. Tank Davis, if he fights Ryan Garcia's 1. Fury or Usyk, obviously, if that fight happens. And Bivol. If Bivol Canelo happens at 168, I think you'll see some shenanigans. What's up, Boxing Squad? Big up to Boxing Squad. And we got Big Boys Boxing as well, 2 heavyweight channels in the building. Big up to you two guys, man. Hopefully you had a great Christmas. And of course, a Happy New Year. Big up to yourself. Big up to both of you guys. Pirog Golovkin. I'd have taken Golovkin prime, but I think he would have been made to work. That fight was supposed to happen in what, 2012, I want to say. Yeah, it was supposed to happen in 2012. So I would have taken Golovkin late. But Pirog would have made Golovkin work. Because that's what Golovkin fought. Instead of fighting Pirog, he fought, what's the guy's name? What's that Polish guy's name? The middleweight. What's his name? Proska. Yeah, Proska. When he fought Proska was a replacement for Pirog. That's the fight that should have happened, was Pirog. Yeah, Povetkin was a gold medalist at heavyweight, not super heavyweight. Heavyweight, yeah. Yeah, Hellenius was very highly touted. People forget that. He was very highly touted for a long while when he was knocking out guys like Samuel Peter and Sergey Liakovich. Good fight. Yeah, we was talking about this earlier. It's a really good acid test for Stephen Shaw. If Stephen Shaw wins, he basically gatecrashes contender status. And we all know F.A. Ajagba's limitations. I'm going to tentatively say Shaw, but again, I've not seen that much of Shaw. I've seen little bits here and there, but I've not seen that much. But Ajagba's performance in that fight with Sanchez really, really left a lot to be desired. So I'll say Shaw on points. Had COVID for Christmas, so made for a memorable time. Yeah, mine was okay. Mine wasn't too bad. I relaxed. I chilled. Yeah, man. David Haye was a big deal for a couple of years, man. He was. Jonathan Rice. The only thing I would say in regards to that fight is Jonathan Rice has a tendency of turning up completely out of shape. But if Jonathan Rice has been had half a training camp, I think he'll beat Vianello. Don't rate Vianello at all. I really don't. Don't rate that guy at all. David Haye walked so that AJ could run. But yeah, he was a big deal, David Haye, back in like 08, 09, 2010, 2011. He was a big deal. Oh, okay. So now the bookies have Shaw as a favourite. They didn't initially. That could be an interesting betting opportunity then. If a Jag was the underdog, he's worth a bet. He's worth a bet. He can win that fight. I've also got Shaw on points, but we'll be hedging with a Jagba by KO 4-1. Yeah, that sounds sensible. I can't see a Jagba winning that fight on points unless he scores like multiple knockdowns and he can't get rid of Shaw. Can't really see a Jagba winning on points, to be honest with you. That's a good shout. Alpha or Sigma? I don't even know what a Sigma is. What the fuck's a Sigma? I've seen the memes going around, but I don't really know what it is. Fuck's a Sigma. What do you think of Fraser's next opponent? Someone on Twitter saying that Sky and Boxer wants to get rid of him and paying out of his contract cheaply. I don't even know who he's fighting. Who's Fraser fighting next? I don't know who the guy's fighting, but yeah, Fraser Clarke so far hasn't looked too good. Let's be real here. He really hasn't looked great, has he? But, you know, it's early. But having said that, he's what, 30, 31? So he needs to get a move on. Oh, it's Kevin Johnson, isn't it? It's Kevin Johnson. It's Kevin Johnson, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I just think with Kevin Johnson, he's ideal if you're a prospect. But, like, at the same time, like, Fraser Clarke is relatively highly hyped. And I feel like you're kind of setting yourself up for failure there. If you can't knock him out, oh, you went 8 rounds with like some 57, like a 57-year-old, bloody, bloody, blah. It's like, I don't know. Hang on. So Clark's fighting Kevin Espindola, a durable journeyman from Argentina. Okay, why did I think he was fighting Kevin Johnson? Maybe I'm just fucking going mad. I mean, he's injured. He's injured right now, I believe. He was injured in his last fight on the AJ Usyk card. I guess I'm a bit of a Sigma then, Reese. I guess I'm a bit of a Sigma. How would Dariusz Michalczewski do against the current 175 fighters? Honestly, I don't think he beats Beterbiev. I don't think he beats Bivol, personally. Not to say he wasn't a good fighter, because he was. Really good high guard, good jab, decent power. You know, good fighter. Oh yeah, there was definitely a lot of with AJ. There was a lot of fortunate events like the gold medal. You know, arguably he never won that fight. I don't think he won that fight personally. Okay, so he's 7-6 and never been stopped. Okay, so he could be okay, fine. That's okay, I guess. Let's have a look. Fraser Clarke. I may have even seen this guy fight before, this Espindola guy, whatever his name is. Oh, no, I have seen him. He fought, I saw the Solomon Docres fight, or Dacres, however you say that fucking name. Okay, went the distance with Ivan Dichko in Argentina. Okay, yeah, he's durable. He's durable. He's durable. I guess that's a good fight for him. Yeah, and he went 10 rounds with Ivan Dichko. Again, he's a guy, though, Ivan Dichko. He's a guy who I forgot existed, quite frankly. I forgot that guy even fucking existed. Clarke points most likely, yeah. Yeah, Clarke has a lot of he's got a lot of like work rate. I like how he goes to the body, things of that nature, but I don't know. I've not been impressed so far personally. I don't know what's his level. Maybe European, maybe. Because Joe Joyce, when he first turned pro, he was stopping these sort of guys. I mean, he was turning pro against better competition. We're talking about guys like Ian Lewison, who was relatively decent at domestic level. That was his pro debut. I just felt the 2021 class was pretty poor, to be honest, in regards to heavyweights. I don't know. Jalalov, I think, is talented. But again, would you put your house on Jalalov being the next world heavyweight champion? I wouldn't, personally. He's talented, like I said, but I wouldn't be staking any big money on him. Same goes for Richard Torres. Yeah, I think Vianello's getting beat this weekend, Boxing Squared. If Jonathan Rice turns up and he's not had too much turkey for Christmas, I think Jonathan Rice could win that fight. I really do. I mean, he exposed Michael Coffey recently. I think Michael Coffey's better than Vianello, to be honest. Yeah, Clarke is solid, but nothing special. Same in the amateurs, really. Just fought there for a very long time. Yeah, might have been one of those guys who fought there for too long. Could have fought there for too long. Top 5 porn actresses. Just wondering. I don't watch porn these days, but when I was a kid, when I was up and coming, learning about the world, I guess Lisa Ann was one of my go-tos back in the day. After that, I'm struggling, to be honest. Yeah, I remember that fight. Yeah, eBay was fighting on all of the top rank COVID shows, wasn't he? Yeah, I felt he lost that fight as well, Vianello. If Rice is in shape somewhat, he does win. I've got Shaw on points, but if Ajagba wins it, it's likely by KO. Yeah, the only other way he wins that is like by multiple knockdowns. If it goes for distance, I don't think he outpoints Jonathan Rice. I might even have a look at the odds on that fight. The only thing with Jonathan Rice, like I was saying, it's like, do I really want to bet on this guy? Do I really want to bet on this guy? Probably not. Is it even on Paddy Power? It is on Paddy Power. Oh, actually, Jonathan Rice is actually the bookie's favourite on Paddy Power anyway. Yeah, Paddy Power, he's 8-11, whereas Guido Vianello is 11-10. So yeah, Rice is the favourite. So you put £10 down on Rice, you get 17.27 back. Plus your stake, obviously, including your stake, sorry. What's up, man? What's up, Nordic? How you doing? Yeah, I definitely feel Clarke marinated too much in the amateurs, and now the meat's gone rotten. Yeah, giving me David Price vibes. Yeah, I mean he'll probably win a domestic title. He'll probably win a domestic title, but can't really see him doing much beyond that. Quite frankly, there's still some decent channels, but yeah, I think a lot of it with boxing is like, I don't think boxing's doing particularly great at the minute. I think 2022 was a bit of a letdown year. I think if boxing picks up again, it will start to get interesting. But I think it just comes, I mean, the strength of boxing determines how strong the online boxing community is, right? Exactly, Reese. I agree. Yeah, it's a good fight as well, big boys boxing. I'll take that. I'll be more than happy with that. I know the name, but I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is. I probably will if I fucking Googled it. Yeah, Haye's nostalgic moments. That presser he turned up and stripped off to prove he was in shape to land the Klitschko fight was hilarious. Also, he glassed me moment, yeah. Oh, man. When she gets knocked out when that boxing money dries up, that's when. I mean, that's goes to show that's the level of boxing fan we have these days, isn't it? I mean, Christ. But yeah, Boxing Square's the guy who's doing it correct. He's still fighting for good fight. Big boys boxing, big up the big boys as well. Nordic. See, I always found David Haye fucking hilarious, man. I always found David Haye hilarious. And the weird thing about David Haye was I met the guy in real life and he was sound as anything. Like proper cool guy. Proper cool guy. I've always had a soft spot for David Haye though. Like he was my favorite fighter growing up as a kid. So like I've always had a bit of a I've always liked David Haye. Yeah, the Klitschko Haye face-off is so classic. Yeah, no doubt. He come here. What did Klitschko say? He is a wannabe. The jewelry, the earrings, a flashy flash. Oh man, that's hilarious, man. That build up to David Haye Klitschko, amazing shit. What's up, Cannon? How you doing? I just found David Haye fun. I just found his whole shtick fun. I don't know why. I just found it fun. When he slapped up Chisora, man, as jokes. Like Chisora, he thought David Haye was a punk. Because Chisora's the type of guy to walk up on people where he knows they're not going to fight back. He's that sort of guy. And I think he assumed that would be the case with David Haye. And David Haye fucking slapped him up. That's great. Oh, yeah, no doubt. He was absolutely a con man. Yeah, if he was around today, I'll be slating this guy. I'll be slating him. But I think it's just because I grew up on David Haye. Like, he was one of my first sort of favorite fighters. It was him and Calzaghe, who I really liked as a kid. And I liked Hatton to a lesser degree, but I liked David Haye. I liked Joe Calzaghe. I just liked their styles. To me, there was something about their styles I really enjoyed. Like the hand speed of Joe Calzaghe, the showboating, and that swagger of David Haye. I just liked their styles as a kid growing up, watching UK boxing. And Max Kellerman looked at him like, what the fuck? And this is Max Kellerman we're talking about. It's mad. But yeah, that was a great build-up. They did have good chemistry, yeah. They did have good chemistry. Yeah, nobody likes a bully, Nordic. Nobody likes a bully. Yeah, Haye punched up Chisora and his trainer all by himself and scared off all the crew. Yeah, they were, yeah. Sort of, what was it, 2008 to like 2011? Yeah. Then the Olympians, the 2012 Olympians came along. Oh, wow. That was funny. That's another thing with boxing now. There's not many characters. There's a lot of contrived characters, but you kind of feel like, oh, they're not genuine. They're not like, I don't know. It's too. A lot of these characters in boxing these days are just too. They're not really subtle. I don't know what it is. They just don't have that magic kind of thing. David Haye was a character though. I like David Haye. Yeah, like Tyson Fury on the come up was very entertaining. He was very entertaining, no doubt about it. I liked Tyson Fury back then. Again, I saw Tyson Fury from the start because he started on ITV4 when Mick Hennessy had a deal with ITV4. I can even tell you his debut. His first fight was on the undercard of Carl Froch versus Jean Pascal on ITV. And I'm pretty certain it was televised on ITV4. Might be wrong on that, but I'm certain it was. But yeah, I've seen Tyson Fury like from the very start. Yeah. It's just not interesting, is it? Like most of these boxers these days are just not interesting. Yeah, people forget that as well because Joe Calzaghe and Hatton retired in like 08, 09, and it was basically just David Haye. Carl Froch back then was a good fighter, but he wasn't really known. It was basically just David Haye and Amir Khan. There's that as well, Boxing Squared. There's that as well. Imagine David Haye's comments now in regards to this fight's going to be more one-sided than a you know what. Yeah, I'd love to know. I'd love to know what happened there, Stephen. I'd love to know what went on there between like Peter Fury and Tyson Fury, as well as Hennessy and Tyson Fury, because they're still not on speaking terms. Tyson and Peter. See, I think British boxing right now is back on the downslide. I really do. Like if you look at take Fury and AJ out of the equation, when you look at the guys who are coming up, how many? There could be some good fighters, but how many are going to be crossovers? I don't see many. I really don't see many. I'd say Adam Lopez. I've seen a bit of Nova. I've seen more of Lopez. I'd probably say Lopez. But yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. And fair play as well. That top rank card, it's not great, but I like the main event. Stephen Shaw versus F.A. Ajagba. More of those sort of heavyweight fights need to happen at the mid-tier level. More of those fights need to happen. Yeah, I liked Carl Froch. What's up, Dan? How you doing? So I heard that Peter and Hennessy fucked over Fury and took a lot of money off him to help stage Huey versus Parker in the UK, but never paid him back. That's why they fell out. But I'm not sure. It was around that time. It was around that time because Tyson Fury showed up to that fight to support Huey. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's basically official, isn't it? Yeah, it's basically official. I think you'll see Sonny Edwards go to Eddie Hearn, by the way. Yeah, I've again, I don't follow the UFC super closely, but I pay attention to what's going on. I'm waiting for Ngannou versus John Jones to be scheduled. That's what I'm really waiting for, to be honest with you. I really want to see that fight happen. He's on Channel 5 still, I believe, right? I think he's still got some links with Channel 5, Mick Hennessy. There's a lot of hype with Moses Atuma, but I've never seen him fight. I'll be real with you. I've never seen him fight. I've heard good things, but could it be another Dubois situation? Frank needs to learn his lesson. He needs to match Moses better coming up. You know, not all these soft touches and then all of a sudden chuck him in at the deep end. He needs to be gradually stepping up the matchmaking. Tough journeyman guys who can go rounds, not just pure knockover jobs. I mean, Moses is talking about fighting for a heavyweight title and trying to beat Mike Tyson's record, but we'll see. Yeah, I know, right? Sam Eggington. You got to love Sam Eggington, though, surely. Yeah, John Jones and Ngannou, to me, is the biggest fight of the year in the UFC. Or, well, I'm not going to say biggest, but in terms of numbers, but the fight I'd look forward to the most in the UFC. It's a good fight. Yeah, Peter's probably got sick of Tyson's constant lies and victim mentality. I don't blame him. Yeah, Peter Fury seems relatively straight. Had his past, but he seems to have you know, seems to have straightened out. Yeah, yeah. I think Sonny Edwards, I think, is going to go to Matchroom. Jalalov's going to be really interesting. If I was him, I'd probably look at Top Rank. To be honest, I'd probably look at Top Rank. I wouldn't be convinced about going to Eddie Hearn. I'd say Top Rank for Jalalov. Yeah, what's up, J7? Thank you, by the way. Thank you very much for the contribution. Much appreciated. AJ's coming to America next week to start camp. Why do you think he made that decision and what changes? Well, it's like anything, right? It's what he makes of it. I've heard rumors that he's going to start training with Derek James. I think Derek James is a very good trainer, but is he a good heavyweight trainer? That's the difference. Access to better sparring in America, that could be a benefit for AJ. He's away from the lights. He's away from the attention of the British press, that sort of thing. He's away from distractions. But he needs to, he just needs to embrace it and go in there with almost like that prison camp mentality. Just stay in the gym, stay in training camp, work. Forget the media, forget the press, and try to improve, But I think it's good for AJ, I think, to change like scenery, step outside his comfort zone, and try to rebuild. I think it's a good move. Derek James, again, I rate him as a trainer, but not all. There's a lot of trainers who are great trainers who aren't suited to heavyweights. I'm not sure. Is Derek James one of those guys? I'm not sure. Personally, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm glad he's changing things up, though. I'm glad he's changing things up. But ultimately, it's what he makes of it. It's what he makes of it. But thank you, bro. Peter never seemed to like Tyson. Who should Florian Marku fight next? It's a good question. Well, he's going down to 140, right? There's been talk of an Adam Azim fight. I don't think he'll take that fight, Florian Marku, personally. I can see why, though, really. Mind you, like Francis, he's been out a long time as well now. But when was the last time John Jones fought? 2020? It's been a while. He's maybe 2021. But it's been a while. Plus, he's coming up to heavyweight. He's putting all that muscle on. I think it's an interesting fight. Honestly, Huey Fury's one of those guys, like, if he were to retire tomorrow, I couldn't care less. Like, he's a nice kid, but his style is so boring, man. It's so fucking boring. Awful style to watch. But I'd like to think they'll try and reschedule the Michael Hunter fight. Whether that happens or not, I'm not sure. Mark my words, Fury will never fight Usyk. Been saying it for 4 years. I hope you're right, man. I hope you're wrong. What am I saying? Been a long day. Maybe it was that. I'm not sure. I think there's a lot. I would say, I think it was Thor who said probably money. Like most things in this world, it's probably money. Yeah, he seems to be pretty genuine, Peter. Unless he's a good actor. Big up to Boxing Squad for a drink for the next BBW. Well, thank you, Boxing Squad. Thank you, man. What's up, TJ? And thank you, J7, man. Much appreciated. Legend. Thank you very much. Will Joshua, but yeah, big up to you guys. J7 and Boxing Squad. Big up to you guys. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Will Joshua stay with a trainer long enough to get results this time? He's changing trainers like undies at the moment. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. I'd hope so. I think he really needs to sit a year out. Not as in not fight, but don't talk about Fury. Don't talk about Wilder. Don't talk about title fights. Just be active against, come back with a mid-tier guy like, I don't know, Dempsey McKean. And then maybe fight a Dillian White. You know, these sort of guys. Have a couple of those sort of fights, 2 or 3 fights in a year. 3 fights in a year, and then go from there, basically. That's what I would say. You can never rule out John Jones, man. You can never rule out John Jones. Yeah, great fight, man. I've got Maurizio Lara against Lee Wood. But it's a very good fight. Either guy can get knocked out in that fight. Both guys are vulnerable. Both guys' defense isn't the greatest. I think Lee Wood, though, I think Lara's got a better chin than Lee Wood. That's what I'm assuming. You know when you just look at 2 fighters sometimes? And it just looks like Lara can take more punishment. I think he may be more robust, to be honest. I'd lean towards Lara. It's a good fight, though. Yeah, check out Big Boys Boxing. He's got a great channel. That could be a good little double bet there. Good little accumulator. That might make you some money. I don't know who Sergey Pavlovich is, to be honest. I've never seen him fight. I think points for Eubank. I don't think he stops Liam Smith. I really don't. I mean, it could happen, but I doubt it. I can't see it personally. I can't see it, if I'm being honest. Yeah, Jermaine Franklin is a good comeback fight. Jermaine Franklin is fine because he can look after himself. He'd probably take AJ a few rounds. Yeah, that's a good fight. Caballel would be decent. Maybe like Franklin, Venato Wallin, you know, these sort of guys. have a bit of a rebuild. How old's AJ? 32? 33? He can afford to have 1 year where he takes these sort of fights, but he just needs to be active, constantly training, constantly sparring, learning new things with his trainer, and go again next year. That's what I would say in regards to AJ. But is that going to happen? I'm not sure whether he's going to be allowed to do that, because you look at this new DAZN deal, a big money DAZN deal. Are they really going to want to do that for fucking 12 months? Probably not. Okay, I have seen Pavlovich then, because I saw the Derek Lewis fight. I did see that fight then. Yeah, I've seen this guy fight. I think Eubank on points, personally. I think Eubank on points. I think Smith's defense is good enough to survive for him to survive in that fight. Okay, so he only lost one of his early UFC fights to Overeem, young guy. Yeah, Alistair Overeem, man, back in his day was a fucking gangster. Like, Alistair Overeem was a special talent in regards to fighting. He really was. Like, if he wanted to be a boxer, he could have been a boxer. Like, he was very talented. Like, people forget that guy was a kickboxer for years and years and years before he went into MMA. Like, he was a super talented athlete, Alistair Overeem. I know he was juiced to the fucking gills, but who cares? Overeem was always good to watch as well. See, that's something I'd like to get into, is kickboxing. I'd like to get into kickboxing, but I just don't have time to follow it. Because honestly, kickboxing is probably like, it might be one of the purest fighting experiences as a fan, because there's not as much money in that sport. It's not as much fanfare. Probably less likely that fights are fixed and fights are robbed, or there's robberies in fights. I'm sure it happens, obviously, but yeah, Overeem was a monster back in the day, man. He was a fucking monster. Like, if you saw that guy, if somebody drew that guy when he was fully juiced up, if somebody drew that guy on a bit of paper, and they said to you, that's a real guy, you said, no, that's bullshit, that's nonsense, that's a cartoon character. The guy looked fucking ridiculous in his prime. Pick up the four. Yeah, Islam Makhachev. Yeah, I think he'll beat Volkanovski. Volkswagen. I think he'll beat Volkanovski. But Volkanovski is a good fucking fighter, man. Very good fighter. I just think he's going to be too small. If Islam gets him on the ground, I think it's done. I really do. That's the thing with those boys from Dagestan, man. When they get you on the ground, you're staying there. I mean, he's a decent domestic cruiserweight, TJ, but is that going to translate to heavyweight? Probably not. Probably not. MMA's pretty strong right now. It's pretty strong. I felt with the UFC though, like I kind of grew up with like the rise of the UFC, and like I want to say like maybe 08 to like probably 07 to like 2011, 2012. It felt like back then UFC was so big. It's big now, obviously, but like it was so big then. You'd think now it'd be bigger than it is now, if that makes sense. Because I think the growth of UFC has kind of slowed down a little bit in regards to fanfare. I think it's slowed down a little bit, but it's. I like UFC. I like MMA. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm the same, Nordic. I can't throw kicks. I've tried Muay Thai before, and I'm not good at throwing kicks. I can throw leg kicks, all right, not great, but I can't throw body kicks that well. I can throw a front kick to the body. I can't throw side kicks to the body, and I can't fucking throw head kicks. So I can do leg kicks just about. I've got a half decent body front kick to the body. but I can't do side kicks to the body or head kicks. Yeah, we'll do, big boys, man. I need to get back on Discord though. I don't use my Discord for this channel. Yeah, it's a great fight, J7, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, see, I've got Lara as a favorite, but like I was saying in my preview, my little preview, like you can't write Wood out because he's a good counter puncher. He hits hard. He's got good straight punches, and he's a tough kid as well. Like if he gets dropped by Lara, he'll get up. How long he can go from there, who knows? But you're going to have to nail that guy to the canvas. He's a tough guy. And Lara takes a lot of risks when he comes in. He takes a lot of risks, comes in quite square, leads with hooks. So he's going to be open for straight punches, which is what Lee Wood does really well. He's got a really mean straight right hand. And if he could time Lara coming in, he might be able to hurt Lara. But he's got to keep a cool head in that fight because it's going to get tough. And unless somebody gets knocked out early, I think that fight's going to get tough for both guys, and both guys need to keep a cool head. That's a war. That's going to be a great fight. Yeah, if Joshua fights regularly on DAZN, DAZN probably take it, knowing that he drives traffic and dollars. DAZN must be disappointed that Joshua hasn't been fighting regularly in recent years. True, yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. With this comeback fight, it's going to be against a lower level guy. If I was DAZN UK, I would have it on free-to-air or like regular subscription to try and drive subscribers. And I would make sure my schedule after that is strong for a couple of months to try and keep some of these new subs on. But they're not going to do that. We know they're going to put it on pay-per-view. That's the thing with UFC right now. That's the thing I'm kind of thinking of as well. Like, who is the legit star in the UFC? If Conor McGregor came back, he would still do big numbers. But Conor McGregor aside, who is the big star in the UFC right now? Who's that needle mover? Who's the guy who can do crazy numbers? I think Jones versus Ngannou as a fight does quite well on pay-per-view. But who's the star coming up? They want it to be Paddy Pimblett, but Paddy Pimblett isn't good. He's not good enough, in my opinion. I don't think Paddy's that great at all. I felt he lost his last fight, actually. To me, there's nobody really standing out. Maybe Sugar Sean O'Malley, but I felt he got a gift decision in his last fight. Like, I felt Peter Yan clearly beat O'Malley. Like, clearly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, AJ kept on talking about wanting to fight 4 times or at least 3 times in 12 months. What happened? I think Hearn literally wants to milk every penny off AJ. Yeah. Yeah, but again, I think AJ needs that sort of year where he fights 3 times. He's not fighting for titles or talking about Wilder or Fury. Just stay active, get with your new trainer, have multiple training camps, and see where he's at the end of the year. Because AJ get a couple of wins, he's going to get a title shot anyway. So he can take a year to where he tries to learn new things and get some confidence, Yeah, I felt Peter Yan won that fight as well, 2 rounds to 1. I think there was one round I felt O'Malley won. I think it might have been was it the last round? I forget which round it was, but yeah, that's one thing I've noticed actually about the UFC. I feel like when the UFC really first started getting on the scene, there was a lot less gift decisions and bad decisions and robberies. But now it feels like there's a lot more robberies in the UFC. Now it feels like there's a lot more robberies in the UFC. One thing I'll say about the UFC though, all the fights do look real. Whereas in boxing, some fights look very questionable. Yeah, if I was managing AJ, I'd probably say I'd have him come back against maybe Dempsey McKean, then maybe a Dillian White type, and then so Dempsey McKean, Dillian White, and then maybe Otto Wallin. 3 fights in a year. You're going to boost your ranking points, and at the end of that year, you're going to be in line for a title shot. Let's be honest, it's AJ. That's what I would do if I was managing AJ. I'd try and get him active and get him some wins against decent guys. Now it could happen, Lee. Wouldn't be shocked. It's a great fight, man. It's a brilliant fight. I think that's a brilliant fight. I really do. That's what makes it a good fight, though. You can see either guy getting knocked out. The only result I'd be surprised at if it goes for distance. Yeah, I heard about that, but I know. What did he do? Did he slap his wife or something? Yeah, Dana's in trouble. I didn't see it, to be fair. This whole Dana White thing. Yeah, big up Lee. By the way, again, check out Lee Talks Boxing. He's got a boxing channel as well. Check him out. But yeah, this year, I do actually have a few plans with this boxing channel. Like I said, we're going to be a lot more abrasive when it comes to certain topics. Going to be a lot more raw, I guess I would say. Again, with certain topics. And also in the future, I am debating having like open panels back. You know, like dropping a link and seeing who comes on. That sort of thing. I miss the open panels. I do. I'll be honest now, I kind of miss the open panels. Straight up as well, I'll level with you guys right now. For a while, I was even thinking of like completely changing this channel as well into like a commentary channel where I talked about anything and everything that I wanted to. You know, things that are going on in the world, that sort of thing, you know. The only issue I have with open panels, I don't mind a bit of chaos, but the only thing I don't like is just is people who don't know when to stop talking. People who are excessively loud for no fucking reason. And people with no social skills or social cues. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't like that's one thing I don't like about open panels. But I guess it's one of those things. It comes with the territory. Yeah, I have done a few live streams there. I have done a few live streams on the other channel. Not many, though. Now and again, I do a little Q&A, but... I'd like to see Leon beat Usman again, to be honest. And I agree. I think Colby loses to Khamzat. I don't know where Colby Covington is these days, though. He's gone silent since Jorge Masvidal punched him up. He's gone silent. That was a fucking mess as well. Masvidal just fucking sucker punching that guy. Honestly, Lee, no word of a lie, I kind of made a pact with myself not to get too excited about boxing this year. So any fight that's not been made, I'm not going to get excited for. As of right now, 2 fights I'm really looking forward to is Wood versus Lara and Matias versus Ponce. Those are the 2 fights I'm looking forward to most this year that have been made. I'm not going to talk about like Fury Usyk or shit like that because I'm tired of like expecting these fights to happen and they never do. I think Jorge beats him. Jorge's too big. It's a shame because like Lara versus Lee Wood and Matias versus Ponce is good, but those fights are going to get no love, no shine. Nobody's really going to they're not really going to talk about them, but they're fucking great fights. And honestly, I think that's where boxing is at now. Those world level fights between guys who aren't exactly big names, who aren't exactly like needle movers. Because those 2 fights I mentioned, I'm pretty certain are going to be real fights. Yeah, that was a disappointment. I was expecting a lot more from that fight. And I hyped that fight up as well. I gave it the kiss of death. Yeah, I still don't know why Unrivaled took down his channel, man. He had a great channel. We should have probably done something in the boxing side of things, like made a podcast or something. I like to think he would come back eventually, but we'll see. But I can get in touch with him. I can get in. I've been meaning to as well. Actually, I have been meaning to just to check in, kind of thing. Just life's been fucking hectic the last few months. Been crazy. Congo Esserman, good fight. I lean towards Esserman though. I lean towards Esserman on points. Congo's a very spindly guy who likes to line you up for a right hand, but when you break that rhythm, as we saw with Michael McKinson, he's not particularly effective. Esserman is different to McKinson. He likes to collapse for pocket, work on the inside. If he can do that against Congo, I think he wins. Yeah, I hope so. Good fight. I'd watch that fight. I say I'll watch it, but I mean, I wouldn't make time for it. But if it was on, and I had nothing better to do, because I remember, yeah, back in, it wasn't that long ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I used to watch anything and everything when it comes to boxing. Seriously, I used to watch everything. But these days, like last year, I would say last year, 2022, in the last 10 years, it's probably the least amount of boxing I've consumed in a year was last year. I still enjoy it, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be doing this channel otherwise, but it's just, I don't know. That's why I've been debating kind of switching things up on this channel and trying to make it more fun for myself, to like motivate myself to upload like more often. Like there was a time where I uploaded probably like fucking near enough every day. But I have a few plans in mind. I'm going to try and be a little more abrasive, I shall say. Best way to describe it is, I don't know. I feel like a lot of boxing uploaders these days, they don't really talk about boxing as a fan. They more so bring the analytical approach, which is fine. But I don't know. I feel like being a bit more raw with it. Take it with a grain of salt. Now, this is good news if this is actually the case. Samson Lukovitz said that Benavidez already signed to fight Plant and then David Morrell Jr. If that is true, again, if that is true, that's something to be excited for. Yeah, exactly, Reese. So listen, there'll be certain topics where I'm like, if I'm feeling like being reasonable, I'll be reasonable. So for example, like the boots video I last done, I was kind of trying to be, I see where people were coming from, but at the same time, you know, I was trying to approach that level-headed. But like, there's other scenarios where I don't think that's called for. So for example, if I made a video on Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman at 154, so that's something I would go in on, like over the top, go in on, or things about, you know, it depends on the circumstance and case and topic, but it's a good fight, Lee. It's a really good fight, and I think the build up to that fight as well would be very interesting. I really do. I think the trash talk to that fight is going to be fucking sick. See, again, if that fight happens, that's going to be one of the fights. If that fight does happen, I think that'll be in my top 5 like most anticipated fights this year, easily. Because I've always liked Benavidez. There's something about Benavidez I just like. I like his attitude. I like how he talks. I like his demeanor. He says a lot without saying much, kind of thing. And I believe he's genuine when he says he wants to fight the best guys at 68. I believe he's pretty genuine. He's made mistakes, obviously, but I mean, he's got speed, he's got power, so he's got he's got some sort of a shot, but not much. Not much. I don't think he'll shit the bed, because he never shit the bed against Kovalev. Yeah, he lost basically every round apart from one, but I don't think he embarrassed himself in that fight. He came to fight, and I think he'll do the same with Beterbiev. But I just think he's going to get found wanting again, to be honest. See, that's the sort of thing that annoys me. Yeah, this culture of fans, that pocket watch boxers using money and ticket sales as a reason for the fight not happening, or even defending certain promoters. It's weird, yeah. See, that's the sort of thing we can go in on. Maybe we start calling people out by names, trying to start a ruckus in the YTBC, just for a laugh. Really, honestly, just for my entertainment. See who I can make dance, basically. Because I know people watch, you know, all I've got to do is call out one person. Oh, so-and-so said this about you. Then they'll make some live stream dancing, you know. We may go that route. I want to have fun with it. I want to have a bit of fun with it. Yeah, fuck Logan Paul. That guy's a weirdo, man. Yeah, 175, I agree, Lee. He's got a half-decent high guard, but it's not active. He doesn't have like an active guard. When he shells up, he's actually hard to catch clean to the head, but he doesn't what do you call it? He doesn't transition defense to offense that well. Yeah, we should start some beef. I tried it once, and I know the guy watched my video, and I know the guy was very, very upset, but he never, it's weird that he never made a video on me, because he makes a video on everyone else. But for General. Salute to the General for. Yeah, we can start causing a ruckus. I can't compromise my source to who told me about the guy, but he sent me a text. What this guy said about me, like how disappointed he was and shit like that. Maybe we may go back into that and pick some and you know, poke again. Because honestly, man, this whole scene, scene to me right now is like, I don't know, it's dead. It's dead. We need some fucking, I don't know. It's just dead, isn't it? Yeah, the problem with Benavidez, man, I like him as well. But his issue is, man, he's too inactive. He's not fighting enough. And obviously, like the mistakes he made, I mean, he made those mistakes, but he needs to be more active. So hopefully he fights Plants relatively soon. And again, after that, David Morrell would be great. And then hopefully a Canelo fight. Fuck no, don't. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yeah, Benavidez will. I'm hoping he has a good year this year. Benavidez. I'm hoping he gets some decent fights. But again, the Plant fight is the one to make. I'm not so sure he will, though, man. Like, there's only so long you can milk the Canelo train. Eventually, he's got to make way. Eventually, he's got to make way for the new star. I don't know, man. Fantasy matchup. Who do you think would win between Carl Froch and Benavidez? It'd be a hell of a fight for a start. You've got to go with Carl Froch. As of right now, you've got to go with Carl Froch. Be a hell of a fight, though. See, Canelo's another guy I'm not particularly interested in this year. I've got no interest in a potential John Ryder fight. I like John Ryder, by the way, but we all know what the score is in that fight. John Ryder's going to go in there, high guard, not throw anything, and he'll fall down after a couple of rounds. But again, see, this is the problem with boxing fans. I saw this all over Twitter from like the Matchroom side, the Matchroom fanboys. Oh, John Ryder, he's got a better resume than David Benavidez. He deserves that Canelo fight more. Fuck deserving. What's a better fight? What's a better fight? What fight would fans rather see? What's a harder fight? Presuming they're real, what's a harder fight for Canelo? It's Benavidez. We all know that. We all know that more people would watch Benavidez versus Canelo. And yet you've got people out here, oh, Benavidez's resume is not strong enough to fight Canelo. John Ryder should have that fight first. I mean, this is the problem with the online boxing community, man. Too many of these guys fucking shill. They shill. Usually they shill out of fanboyism. But I'm convinced, I'm absolutely convinced, right, that many of these big channels get paid by these promoters. I'm certain of it. I'm certain of it. I'm absolutely certain. Because I've been doing this boxing shit for quite a few years. And when I had like 1,000 subs, this was back in 2017, when Haye Fury versus Joseph Parker happened, I got an offer to do ads for that fight, like put ads on my channel. But I never took it because it was shit money. But like if they're reaching out to some shit channel like mine, of course these big guys are getting fucking spoken to by promoters. Exactly, yeah. Benavidez is young. He's got many more miles on the clock. You know, I mean, I think Canelo's aging. I really do. That Golovkin fight to me, the last Golovkin fight was a farce, an absolute farce. Like neither guy looked like they was there. That looked like a sparring session, like one of the early sparring sessions in camp. That's what that looked like. Even though Golovkin was doing nothing, Canelo still looked terrible. In my opinion. I agree. I think most of it, Reese, I think most of it is shilling just due to fanboyism. And it's not even just fanboyism. So you look at certain channels and they'll placate to a certain narrative. They'll placate to a certain promoter or that sort of thing, a certain network, whatever. That's what they'll do. And you see the channels like complete echo chambers when they have like live panels. So that's one thing I want to dead actually. If we have live panels, I want to do like I've got no problem getting people with contrasting views on, none at all. But yeah, that's another corny thing about the YTBC though. Oh, come and debate me. I mean, debates are irrelevant on the YTBC because like if you debate somebody on their channel, even if you school them, that the person in that person's chat are going to say the host won regardless because they're there for that channel. But the whole debate thing on the YTBC is corny as fuck. I thought Sporting's been going at Eddie recently. I thought Sporting's been going at Eddie. And to be fair to Sporting, one thing I'll give that guy credit for, he said from day one, yeah, I'm biased for British fighters. If you come out and like admit it, then fair enough. Basically, yeah, debates are shouting matches and dick measuring contests. Basically, yeah. It's who can shout the loudest, really. Like, you could go to debate somebody, but if you debate them on their channel, regardless of what you say, you're like, the chat's going to say you lost anyway. So it's like, what's the point? What's the point? But yeah, you see it, man. It's just like all these clicks in the YTBC. It's corny as hell. It's corny as hell. It's like when you're in like primary school and you like make a gang with your friends. You give your gang a little name, you know. You know, it's like playground shit. It's infantile. It's just infantile. Did you guys do that as a kid when he's like in primary school? Your group of mates got together, and you gave yourself a gang name. We did. That's what the YTBC reminds me of. Facts. See, that's another thing. I wish I came around on YouTube many years earlier because I'd have loved to have talked about that sort of thing, like just conspiracy theories. I love that sort of shit. Yeah, most fans are too emotional over their favorite fighters to debate properly. Yeah, but I mean, it's like the Tank Davis fight this past weekend, right? I mean, it's even the media. Obviously, we expect that, but like, I saw a post on Twitter like it was the brutal ending to Gervonta Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia. I mean, if that's brutal, God help us. God help us. Brutal, my ass. It was a fucking dive. It was a quit job. It was either a dive, like he was paid to lose, or it was a quit job. Call it what it is. I don't get why people were so scared to call that fight for what it was. Hector Garcia just stopped fighting, and he was fine. He was fine. Look at his legs after he got caught. He was fine, and he got caught on the side of the head, back like side to the back of the head, not on his eye. And in between rounds, oh, I can't see out of my eye. Get the fuck out. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. But yeah, that's a YTBC for you, and the online boxing community. I mean, half the time I don't listen to like many live shows anymore, but when I do, when I've like tuned into certain channels, most of the topics are like somebody was saying earlier. Oh, so and so sold this amount of numbers. I think they're lying. I think the sources are lying. I think this journalist is lying about the numbers. Who cares? Who fucking cares? Yeah, we did that. Yeah, same. Yeah, hardest gang. Way back when. Fucking hell. Mental. Mental, man. But yeah, January anyway is a shit month for boxing. You got Eubank, which I might cover. I might cover the Eubank fight. If anybody's interested as well, Austin Trout is fighting former UFC fighter Diego Sanchez in a bare-knuckle clash on February the 17th. So mark it in your calendars, guys. Austin Trout versus Diego Sanchez. Bare-knuckle. Fucking hell. Jesus. Fair enough, I guess. You've got to get your money somewhere. Fucking hell. It's on the Eubank card. It's a couple of weeks away. So yeah, he's basically a domestic cruiserweight who's going up to heavyweight. Jack Massey gave Richard Riakporhe a pretty close fight. I felt he just about lost, but he's a decent cruiserweight boxer at domestic level. He's solid. He could be a British champion. Zero. Lee talks boxing. I've never seen Liam Wilson fight, but zero. With a name, I've seen the guy on. I have looked at the fight on BoxRec. 11-1, Australian. Like, bruv. No, not zero. I don't need to look at the fight. I don't need to look at it. I don't need to look at that guy fight. I know he's going to get squashed. Breakout stars in 2023. I think Adam Azim could be a big star. He's got the star power. I think he's got the marketability. It's whether he's good enough, really. But if he stays active and he fights regular, I think his name will be a lot more. He'll be talked about. So UK perspective, I think Adam Azim is up there. Worldwide, maybe Keyshawn Davis if he stays active and he gets some step up fights. Who else? There's a lot of good prospects, but like future stars though, like do you know what? If Richard Torres can fight, if he can fight, that guy's going to be a big star. That guy's going to be a big star. He's got a really exciting style. He hits hard. He's aggressive. He's got the Hispanic background. He's got a unique look. He's young. He can talk pretty well. If Richard Torres can fight, that guy will be a big star. That guy's got star potential. But again, it's whether he's good enough or not. But there's some guys who could actually be bona fide stars. I'm talking about like guys who can sell. Yeah, I got sent out a lot. To be honest, though, I only really started to get in trouble at upper school. I was pretty good before that. Do you know Riakpo though? Riakpo is one of those guys. I've seen this guy fight numerous times, but I don't remember any of his fights. He's one of those sort of guys. I just think Duradola, I vaguely remember. I just think Duradola's shot, honestly. I never saw the Turchi fight. I don't remember the Chris Billum-Smith fight. But again, we know what they're doing there. They're going to try and fatten him up for Lawrence Okoli. Sky, that is. Nick Ball is he's a fun fighter. He's a fun fighter. He's a great fighter to have on your roster to put on big cards. So if you've got a big main event, you've got a pay-per-view card, put Nick Ball on the undercard in a decent fight. But Nick Ball is fun to watch. He is fun to watch. Very aggressive guy, hits hard. I loved it when he beat up Isaac Lowe. I can't stand Isaac Lowe. So yeah, there's that. There's that. Do I think Ajagba's got a glass chin getting dropped by Kaladze and Sanchez? Also, I'm not sure Sanchez and Goosen are a good matchup. Yeah, I think Ajagba's chin is questionable, but more so is how he reacted in that Sanchez fight. To me, it looked like he lost hope way too early, and he settled for second best. But yeah, I don't rate his chin. I'm not certain on his chin, and more so his heart. So yeah, there's question marks there. As for Frank Sanchez and Joe Goosen, it's a weird matchup, I can't lie. It's a weird matchup. But we'll see. We'll see when he comes back. I think Frank Sanchez is never going to have a big fan base. But that guy's a tricky heavyweight. He's tricky. And I don't dislike watching him as much as most people do. Yeah, the Christian Hammer fight was horrible. But I didn't mind the FA Jagba fight. I was okay with that performance. Yeah, he comes in very square, boxing square. He comes in very square, and he loads up with everything. Very often he'll lead with hooks. I get you. Yeah, I see what you're seeing as well. But again, if he can iron those deficiencies out, and he turns out to be good, he will definitely be a star. Yeah, Diego Pacheco, I think he's one of those guys who nobody's really talking about, who's a very interesting prospect. He's a big super middleweight. I like his punch variety. Hits hard, young. You know, he's a good fighter. He's a good prospect, Diego Pacheco. Out of all of the Matchroom US prospects, I think he might be the best. I don't really rate Mark Castro. Nikita Ababe, if you remember him, don't rate him. I think Diego is pretty good. Or he could be pretty good. And yeah, you're right. Richard Torres, he looks like something out of the 70s. Like his hairstyle. He looks like Napoleon Dynamite a little bit. But yeah, I like Torres' style. He's fun. He's fun. He's definitely got a fun style. Yeah, Kaladze, though. Kaladze's a good test for an up-and-comer. He usually gets knocked out, but he always comes to fight. He'll throw back. Kaladze is he's a good test for an up-and-comer. Not that durable, but he'll throw back. Like, even when he got run over by Joe Joyce, he was throwing shit back. I mean, he dropped Victor Vickhurst. He dropped FA Jagba. Yeah, he's a good yardstick. Kaladze. He's a good yardstick. Oh, he always gets knocked out. Tristan Tate has good drip. If only he had a soul to go with that drip. But yeah, I think the whole Tate thing's all theatre, man. It all looks like nonsense to me. We'll see. Best fight I've watched. What, TV or live, or just like in the moment type of thing? Like, honestly, I'm very tempted to say Guillermo Jones versus Denis Lebedev. That's one of my favourite fights of all time. That's coming up to 10 years, by the way, since that fight happened. I can't believe it. 10 years since that fight happened. I'm sure it was 2013. Yeah, man, 2013. Jesus Christ. May 2013. Where does time go? Where does time go? That's insane. Fucking yeah, that was one of the best fights I've seen. Was Lebedev versus Jones. Amazing fight. Amazing fight, honestly. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was on Box Nation, Nordic. It was on Box Nation. Great fight, man. Let's have a look at this card. Who was on the undercard? Let's have a look. I still fucking hate. I fucking hate BoxRec's layout, man. Seriously. Fucking hate it. So yeah, Lebedev versus Guillermo Jones main event. Povetkin, Wawarczyk co-main event. Dmitry Tudanov versus Grady Brewer. Edward Tryanowski on the card. Man, yeah, decent card back in the day. Decent card. Those Russian cards back in the day were sick, man, on Box Nation. They were sick. So this was the card, yeah? Alexander Povetkin versus Mike Perez headlined this card. On the undercard, you had Grigory Drozd versus Lukas Janik. That was for the WBC Cruiserweight title. Rakim Shakayev versus Junior Anthony Wright. Manuel Char versus Alex Leopai. You had Dimitri Bivol on the undercard as well, 2-0 at the time. Those cards back then were fucking lit. You had Kudryashov on that card as well. Yeah, that was a good fight. Yeah, Frampton Warrington was a good fight. That's when I liked Warrington. It really, with Warrington, I've always liked the guy. It was up until the last sort of 18 months with Warrington. It's a shame his career turned out the way it did, but he can very easily redeem himself. Eddie Hearn was talking about Warrington versus the winner of Lara Wood. Well, I'm all for that. I'd like it. See, when I was training a lot, I never hurt my hands, but I hurt my wrists quite a lot. I've never had like a hand injury in boxing. Never. But I hurt my wrists quite a lot. Not as in, when I say hurt, like not bad, but like to the point where if I went to the gym one day, I'd hit the bag, I sparred, done all my shit. The next day I couldn't do it again sometimes. I'd have to wait a day because my wrists were just fucked. Maybe it was punch technique. Maybe I weren't turning shots over that well. Maybe I just have weak wrists. But I never had hand prop trouble. Never. Like I could hit the bag with like just wraps on and I'd be fine. In fact, weirdly, when I did that, because I hit the bag quite a lot when I was training on my own. Like I used to have a heavy bag in my old place. And very often I would hit the bag with just my wraps. And when I did that, I never had wrist injuries, but it's when I was wearing gloves. Which is weird. Oh, is it bad? I've not even seen it, Lee. I've not seen it. Oh, yeah, he was fucked. He was fucked, boxing brains. David Price was fucked after that right hand around the side. Yeah, he was out on his feet, bro. I thought he was going to bust the moonwalk, man. He was out on his feet. I miss David Price, though. I miss David Price, man. I do. I miss David Price. So, yeah, Michael Benson's reported, Shakur Stevenson versus Shuichiro Yoshino is being finalised for a lightweight clash on April the 8th, which is expected to be a WBC final eliminator to determine the mandatory challenger to Devin Haney. This Yoshino guy knocked out Nakatani in his last fight, so is he any good? We'll see. Okay, so they just uploaded the undercard on BoxRec. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look, Lee. Let's have a look. Can we shit on this card quickly? But yeah, guys, in regards to this channel, I'm not fucking it off because I know I've not been active recently. But I've got plans. It's just getting around to it. Here we go. Lee Wood versus Maurizio Lara. Dave Allen's on the card. No, that's the wrong card. Wrong card. Fucking hell, I was about to panic then, bro. Okay, Lee Wood Lara main event. Dalton Smith versus Billy Allington. That is for the British title, which Dalton Smith has. Terrible fight. Gary Cully versus Wilfredo Flores. Wilfredo Flores. Let's have a look at this guy. I'm going to say right now he's Honduran. No, he's not. He's American. Birthplace Puerto Rico. But again, he's done nothing. Unbeaten record, but beat nobody. Gary Cully will win that fight comfortably. Chevon Clark versus Dex Spellman. I actually quite like Dex Spellman, but not a great fight. Gamal Yafai's back. Yeah, it's not a good card. It's not a good card. But, my good friend. No, there's no female fights, though. There's no female fights. Kiss of death. Hometown advantage, I guess, Boxing Squared. I think that's really all it comes down to be honest with you. It's just hometown officiating. I don't think Warrington is shot, but he's not at his optimal best. I don't think he's shot though. Yeah, I felt the fouls in that fight were fucking egregious, to be honest with you. But there you go. I actually quite enjoyed that fight, though. It wasn't a bad fight. I quite enjoyed it. It could have been better, though, if the referee was a bit stronger. I think you would have seen more exchanges. I think the referee could have made that fight better. But yeah, I was happy with my prediction in that fight. I know I picked Lopez by late stoppage, but still, got the right guy. Got the right guy. But yeah, another fight I'd love to see, though. If Lara beats Wood. See, again, this is the problem. Like, honestly, it should be Lara. If Lara beats, it should be Wood versus Lara winner against Lopez. Yeah, it feels like Warrington has stagnated. His dad's done a really good job with him. And I actually think his dad's a decent trainer, by the way. Because his dad's done really well with Maxi Hughes. But yeah, you fancy he needs a change. To be honest with you, Intangible, I need to go back and watch it properly. I've only seen snippets. I've seen basically extended highlights. I heard a lot of people call it a robbery, but I'd need to go back and watch it. I'm not surprised. I never really rated Rashidi Ellis, though. He's one of those guys who, again, he's what I would describe as a style over substance guy. Some of what he does looks pretty. He's got good speed, etc. But I never really see him stamp his authority on a fight, even when he wins clearly, if that makes sense. He's just one of those guys who's like, yeah, he's all right, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think Warrington could do with a change of scenery, but I don't think he will at this stage. I don't think he will, and that's understandable. Yeah, Fabio Wardley would beat Dave Allen, man. Say what you want about Fabio Wardley, like a couple of his fights early in his career were dives, but Fabio Wardley, one thing I'll give him credit for, he obviously trains because he's always in decent shape, and he's got a bit of a dog about him as well because he was under a bit of pressure by Gorman early on in that fight. His nose was busted. He started terribly in round one, and he came back well swinging. He'll beat Dave Allen. He'll beat Dave Allen up as well. Yeah, he's a bit of a slapper as well. He doesn't turn over that well with his shots. He's a bit of a slapper. I think we've gone past that stage with Wardley now. To be honest, he's a British champion. Honestly, if I was him, or if I was managing him, I would get him that Dave Allen fight, just because it would generate some interest among like dumb casuals, and I would use that to build Fabio Wardley. I'd take Dave Allen next if I could. That's what I would do. See, again, that would actually be a good fight. Dave Allen versus Johnny Fisher. Can you imagine the build up? Can you imagine the build up? Like the banter, the so-called banter between those two. Yeah, exactly. So he's that sort of guy. If I was, see, again, that's what I would want to see though. Like Jaron Ennis, for example, he just went 12 rounds with no problem whatsoever. The guy wasn't there to fight. I'm presuming he's okay, like his hands are fine. If I was managing Jaron Ennis, I would have him fight a guy like Villa in April. Get him back in there straight away while he's waiting for a title shot. Fight Villa, knock him off. Fight a Cody Crowley. Man, these guys are too inactive. I'll be real with you, man. I can't stand. Having said that, like Dave Allen versus Johnny Fisher, who would I root for? Who would I root for? See, those sort of characters rub me up the wrong way. Who would I root for? Oh, God. Oh, it's not so much Johnny Fisher, though. It's his fucking dad. It's his dad. Like, I think I would root for Johnny Fisher. Begrudgingly. I think I would root for Johnny Fisher. Yo, Johnny Fisher's dad is fucking... Johnny Fisher's dad is built like two fucking fridge freezers roped together. He is fucking huge. Size of that guy, man. Size of him. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's jokes. He was saying in an interview, I'm going to lose some weight and, bloody blah, get more healthy. A couple of weeks later on Twitter, I see this fucking image of him. Big ass Chinese takeaway on the table. Just him. There was chicken chow mein, there were ribs, rice, fucking all sorts of shit, like trays of food for one man. Insane. And he had like a pint of beer, a glass of wine. Yeah, he's not long for this world. Chisora beats him still, easy. Johnny shoving Chinese down Dave's throat after cabbaging him would be a sight to see. Indeed, it would. No, it is his dad. It is his dad. I remember reading about it. I forget the reasoning, but it is his dad. It is his dad. See, I'm not a fan. Again, I would respect this guy so much more if he had like fucking, I don't know, like Indian food or fucking, I don't like Chinese food like that, honestly. I've always found Chinese food to be overrated. But again, I'm only judging it to what we get here, like Chinese takeaways. I've never been to like a swanky Chinese restaurant, so maybe Chinese food's really nice when it's cooked right, but I fucking despise Chinese takeaway. If that was the only thing going, if it was Chinese takeaway or going hungry, I would seriously consider going hungry. Can't fucking stand Chinese takeaway. Reese. No. Reese likes the Chinese. I know I'm in the minority when it comes to Chinese food. See, if I'm getting a takeaway and I'm feeling myself, like if I want something half decent, I'll go for an Indian, like a curry. I'll go for a vindaloo is what I like to go for. I'll go for a vindaloo. I never really get like takeaway though, but vindaloo, like Indian. Sometimes I'll go for a pizza, but I'm not really a takeaway guy. I can't lie. Fucking expensive takeaway, man. You know it's bad because Chinese folk don't even eat that stuff. Yeah, I'm sure like genuine Chinese food's nice, but like not the shit you get in a takeaway. Yeah, I've said this before. On the other channel, we was randomly talking about food on a live stream. And if you like meat, Turkish food might be the most underrated cuisine in the world. Like, Turkish food is really fucking nice. Really nice. Like, I had some fucking... We went to a Turkish restaurant before Christmas because it was my friend's birthday. It was fucking expensive, but it was nice. I had like... it was like a lamb shank and rice, and it had some like kind of not spicy, but kind of some sort of sauce, and it was fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Turkish food is great. And I like lamb. I know like Turkish cook a lot with lamb. I love lamb. Lamb's one of my favorite meats, you know. But yeah, Turkish food is fucking great. Turkish food is great. But again, especially if you like meat, which I do. So yeah, Turkish food is fucking elite. If you got a Turkish restaurant near you, go to it, man. You won't be disappointed. Like Turkish kebabs, like real Turkish kebabs, are fucking banging as well. Insanely good. I'm talking about like the shish kebabs, like proper food, man. It's fucking amazing. I'm not really a picky eater though. I'll basically try anything. There's not much I don't like. There's very few things I would like point blank refuse to eat. If somebody gave it to me, I wouldn't eat it. There's very few things. Like one of the only things I can think of is Brussels sprouts, believe it or not. It's one of the only things I just can't fucking stomach. Don't like them. Just don't like them. Not a big fan of Brussels. Aromatic lamb, bro. I love. See, I love lamb as well, bro. But it's just so expensive, man. It's so expensive. Like when I go shopping, I'll always look to see if it's on offer because I fucking love it. But I just can't justify. I ain't gonna spend like silly money on lamb. Oh, Lee, bro, that's wrong. I'll take that back. Cranberry sauce on like meat on like a roast? No, bro. No. No. That's wrong. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I'm not a big fan of mayonnaise. I used to hate it like you, but I've kind of grown to live with it now. Like if it's in a sandwich, I can eat it. Lucas Brown versus Igor Kaladze, a fantasy retarded fight. That should be a series. That should be a series. Fantasy retarded fights. Yeah, Joe Laws is a fucking idiot. I had a lamb korma on Christmas Eve when I was watching Die Hard. What a night! That sounds like a night of champions, Nordic. Night of champions. Honestly, I don't really make sandwiches these days. When I get a sandwich, usually I buy them. Like if I'm working or something, and I haven't brought any lunch, I'll buy one, like from a supermarket. And very often, those sandwiches will have mayo in them. I'm not a big fan of mayo, but I can eat it. See, to me, cauliflower doesn't really taste of anything. I guess it's all perception and your taste buds, right? But to me, cauliflower doesn't really taste like anything. It's like when people say, you know, when people say, "Oh, I hate cucumber." Well, it doesn't taste of anything. I think John Fury would fuck up Big John Fisher, to be honest with you. But yeah, cranberry sauce, Lee, on any. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I respect you, but nah, it's not right. Yeah, I like cucumber as well. I like cucumber. See, that's another thing I've been trying to do as well recently because of like the cost of living. It's actually cheaper to cook for yourself now rather than like get semi-made meals. I'm trying to really dead out all the processed food kind of thing. And I am cooking a lot more for myself now. I don't make anything crazy because I ain't really got time. I'd like to make myself some proper food, but I've not really got time. But in the winter, for example, I've been making like loads of fucking like slow cooker meals, like chicken or beef, like beef stew and shit like that. Because I live on my own, so for me, if I make like a beef stew, that can last me a couple of days, for example. That's wrong as well, Lee. That's wrong as well. That's wrong as well. Wrong, 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 wrong. Yeah, I heard something about that. Is that actually being looked into? If it is true, throw the book at him. Bury him under the prison. Never had cranberry sauce till this Christmas. Had a little bit. Not awful, but I wouldn't choose to have it. Yeah. When it comes to Christmas dinner, bro, the only liquid I have on my fucking plate is a boatload of gravy. I'll double up on gravy, man. Yeah, a good turkey sandwich is nice, though, after a Christmas dinner. I can't lie. It is nice. When you're settling down, yeah, it's nice. When I was a kid, though, my mum always, so after Christmas, she would take the leftovers and like make a turkey soup. And I swear to God, yeah, to this day, even in restaurants, I've never had a soup so fucking good. Insanely good, man. We know about Edwin Valero. We know about Edwin Valero. I'll go for a piss quick. Hang on. Yeah, I like a good soup, man. I like a good soup. Yeah, Nordic's a Chad. His missus makes him a good soup. Absolute Chad. Chad energy. Yeah, I like soup. I just can't be bothered to like cook shit like that for myself. You know what I mean? It's not even that I can't be bothered. It's time more than anything. But yeah, Nordic Chad moves. Chad energy by Nordic. Get in the kitchen. Make me a soup. Absolute Chad energy. Gotta love it, man. Giga chat. Oh yeah, so the other channel, bro. Most of my videos get demonetized. Some don't for some reason. So sometimes I'll have a little run where 2 or 3 videos may not be demonetized, but very often, I would say, I guess I've uploaded like maybe 100 videos on that channel. I'd say maybe 25 are monetized, maybe. But it's a good little side earner. It's a good little side earner. Like on that channel, I've had one what I would call like a ridiculous month, because I got kind of lucky. One video popped off and it got monetized. That was like a ridiculous month. And I've had some good months in terms of all months are good though, really, because I would never expected. I never expected it to go anywhere. But I had one really ridiculous month. I've had a few like good months, and every other month has been like kind of average for what it usually does. So like the best month I had, I think, was like 11K in 1 month, and that was only because one video just randomly popped off and it got monetized by chance. But yeah, usually it's like usually what I get from that channel is like maybe, I don't know, about 2K a month. So it's not enough to where you could quit your job. Oh yeah, no, I've experienced already. So what it was, Nordic, I think early on, YouTube algorithm didn't really suss what I was doing, what I was talking about. But like basically ever since the start of, honestly, it was after that month where I did really well in, I think it was June last year, because I blew up quick. Then the last couple of months of last year went back to normal. And the first few months of, so hang on. When did I start the channel? Was it 2021? Yeah, like May 2021. So it blew up like instantly, basically. Pretty much all of 2022 was pretty good. The start of no, hang on. No, 22. Yeah. All of 2021, it kind of blew up, done well. Start of 2022 was average. Middle of 2022 was good. And it was June, had a great month. And after that, people kept on saying, oh, your videos don't get recommended. I don't get notifications and all that shit. So I think YouTube had a little look at what I was doing. They can't ban me because I'm not breaking any TOS, but it's close to the mark. It's really close to the mark. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't worry about that sort of thing. That's weird. YouTube, that's the thing I've noticed with that channel, bro. Some of the videos that I made, like, I expected to do like well, they didn't. And the ones that I expected to do bad sometimes done well. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. One second. But yeah, there's other things though with that other channel I can do. Like I can do like anything disturbing I can do, so I can branch out and do other shit. Like real cheap content, as in like like those videos where like 5 mysterious creatures caught on camera, that sort of shit. Or 5 Bigfoot sightings caught on camera. I could do dumb shit like that as well. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's fun. It's good fun. It is good fun. So I'm sure I'm subbed to your fucking gaming channel, Nordic, because I watched your Hitman video the other day. Your Hitman, he was talking about the movie adaptations. Yeah, yeah. Why the Hitman movies failed? Yeah. Oh yeah, every year goes by rapidly these days, man. Arcelino Freitas, maybe. Like you were saying, oh, fucking hell, sorry, I burped. Like you were saying though, Nordic, like gaming, like games that get turned into movies rarely work. Like I hated, for example, like the Resident Evil movies. Couldn't fucking stand them. I thought they was all awful. Didn't like them. Loved the games though, but there are some games though where I think it could work with like the right director. Like for example, I think a Silent Hill movie could work. I think Silent Hill is a game that could be adapted into a movie. I really do. I really do. I know there's a Last of Us series that's been released. Apparently, that's really good. I don't watch like TV though, but apparently the Last of Us series that's come out is good. But I think Silent Hill could be a good movie. I think Silent Hill could be a good movie if they were to make that. Yeah, I thought some people liked the first couple, but I thought they was all terrible. Oh, there was. Hang on, there was a Silent Hill movie. I'd see. I never even knew there was one. See again. I think if that's done correct, though, I think Silent Hill could translate properly into a really good horror movie if it was done like properly. If there's one game though, if there's one game I wouldn't mind seeing getting turned into a movie, just because these movies don't get made anymore, would actually be like Red Dead Redemption. Have like a Western. I mean, Western movies don't get made anymore. Like, there's very few games I would like. I'm kind of out of gaming these days, but like, if like a new Red Dead came out, I'd probably have to find a way to play it. Like Red Dead Redemption 2, man, was fucking amazing, man. Still, it's a great game. Red Dead 2, Red Dead 1, awesome, awesome games. I can't work out what's better though. Like, I can't work out what's better. Like, Red Dead 2 is that good. Like, Red Dead 1 was my favorite game of all time prior to that. But honestly, I can't really separate them. I can't really separate them. The ending, I actually felt the ending to Red Dead Redemption 2 was more effective, though. I'll say that much. But I think there's multiple endings in Red Dead 2. They all basically end the same way, but they end the same way differently. I might be wrong on that. But the ending I got was good. Have you played Red Dead 2, Nordic? Have you played Red Dead 2? Because if you haven't, I think you will genuinely enjoy that game. It's quite long. The campaign's quite long. And you get sidetracked really easily just fucking like exploring the world and shit, doing like the random encounters and all that sort of stuff, doing collectibles and hunting. What did you think of it, Nordic? Did you prefer the first or second? Oh, you weren't a fan of Red Dead 2, G man. I loved Red Dead 2, bro. I loved it. It does drag on. It does drag on a little bit, but I liked it, man. I liked it. I preferred Arthur to John. Yes, it's weird. See, that's a game I would love to play through on stream on my other channel when I do my Twitch streams. I'd love to play through Red Dead 1, but you can't play it on PC. And I haven't got a fucking... I can't play it on, like, anything else. I like GTA 4. GTA 4. GTA 4 had the best story, but it was just missing that GTA, like, customization, almost. It was just missing that customization. Yeah, see, I think GTA 4 had the best story. I think San Andreas was a better game. Yeah, Mafia 2 was good. I liked Mafia 2. I played Mafia 2. Yeah, good game. I think they remastered that game, maybe. Maybe they remastered it. I'm pretty certain they did. I've not played the remaster. I played the original. Like, the original copy. But yeah, Mafia 2 was good. Was that the one where the guy gets fucking chopped up by the triads in the street? If I'm correct. Yeah, and the DLC as well for GTA 4 was really good. The DLC was really good as well for GTA 4. See, that's the thing with GTA 5. I liked GTA 5, but like that game was basically made for online mode. Like, it's criminal how that game never had like a single player DLC. It's fucking criminal. Yeah, that cutscene as a kid, man, bro, that was fucking hardcore, man. That's hardcore. That's mad. It just feels like games these. I don't play games these days, but sometimes when I go around a mate's house or play something, whatever, and games these days, man, just feel soulless. That's the only way I can describe it. Maybe it's just because I've grown up, but like, I could very easily go back and play GTA 4, for example, or Red Dead 1, Red Dead 2, or GTA San Andreas. I could go back and play these games. But like these modern games, man, it's like movies. They have no soul. It's just, I don't know. There's no good there's no real good independent titles anymore, like, or original titles coming out. I don't know. Yeah, GTA 4 is more like a Red Dead game than a GTA game. Yeah, GTA is just batshit ridiculous, and 4 was just so serious. Awesome game though. Proper DLCs as well, 2 quality DLCs. Yeah, DLCs where you got your money's worth. Yeah, it's like movies, though, isn't it? It's like they always introduce their these NPC narratives in these games. Your favorite Spyro. What came out in 2000? What's that fucking dragon? That dragon game. Was it Spyro? It's Spyro. I swear you like Spyro. I'm gonna say Spyro. I don't know which one. Maybe Spyro 2. I liked the first Assassin's Creed. Yeah, modern games, man, it's all about looking pretty. They look pretty and they look good, but like the gameplay's not engaging. The stories are pretty fucking dull. Like everyone's hyping about that I think it's called God of War, and I watched my friend play it, and it just looked fucking shit. Spyro 3. I think I played Spyro 2. My uncle had some world records in Spyro. See, I was always more of a Crash Bandicoot guy as a kid. I liked Crash Bandicoot. Crash 1, 2, and 3, amazing games. After that, I never played them. But yeah, the first 3 Crash Bandicoot games were fucking elite, man. Elite. I loved Crash. What other games were there when I was a kid? Do you guys what was that game called? Worms. It was called Worms. That game was fucking fun. Yeah, Worms. Surely you guys remember Worms. Man, if your uncle was like, let's say your uncle was around now, your uncle would be like a massive fucking Twitch streamer, like earning thousands a month. That's mad. Yeah, Worms was fucking funny as hell. Me and my brother used to spend hours just fucking around. Like we would try to fortify our worms first. You know, you could use like it was like not building blocks, but like you could basically kind of protect your worms with like I don't know what they were, but like steel girders and shit and all that sort of stuff. And we used to make our worms like our little worm army because you was fighting each other. And we used to first would do our rounds to like build a little base. It's fucking hilarious, man. He's still alive, but doesn't game anymore. Does crosswords and watches porn. Sounds like a good life, Boxing Squid. That sounds ideal. If my retirement involves that, I'll be happy. I'll be a happy man. Never played Hogs of War. Never played Hogs of War. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I know what you're saying, G-Man. Like certain games as a kid seemed super hard, but I bet if you go back and play them, probably piss easy. Yes, bro. Modern Warfare 2, Xbox Live, get home from school, bro. Again, if all of my game chats from back then were exposed to the world, I would never work again. Bro, we would call people all sorts on Modern Warfare 2 online. All sorts. My favorite thing to do, my favorite thing to do in Modern Warfare 2 as well. So if you went on hardcore mode online, so basically hardcore mode, it's like one bullet kill and you can kill your teammates. I'd go on hardcore mode, go on search and destroy, start of a round, I'd get an RPG, fire it into the ground and kill all my teammates and make them lose for a round. And the reactions were so funny, man. So funny. Yeah, Simpsons Hit and Run was actually quite decent, actually. So I was a PlayStation kid though when I was young, so PS1, PS2. Then I went to the 360. I went to the 360 in my teens. I think I got like maybe 2 nukes on that whole game. I think I may have got like 2 nukes in that whole fucking game. That was fun though. Like Call of Duty back then was so fun. And that's when multiplayer games peaked as well, because everybody, it seemed, was on the mic in the game chat. Whereas these days, nobody really uses their mic like that. Yeah. I've been killed by a falling care package. But again, if you played hardcore mode, this is like another one of my favorite trolling techniques. Play hardcore mode, play the game normally. You see your teammate's got a care package. He calls it in. Wait for the care package to drop, then shoot him and take it. The reactions, bro. Yeah, I liked Modern Warfare, the original. So what was that? COD 4. Then it was what was after COD 4? It was World at War after COD 4. So it's COD 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1. I think that's how it went. Those were my favorite Call of Duties. After that, I kind of just stopped playing it. I've not really played it since. I played the 2019 Modern Warfare, which weren't bad. But soon after that, I basically... So basically what it was, I turned 16, I completely stopped gaming for years. I got like a PS4 when I was maybe 20, played it for a little bit, sold it. Then got an Xbox when I was like maybe 24, 25. Played it for a year, like a little bit here and there, sold that as well. It's like I can't get into gaming these days, man. Yeah, in Modern Warfare 3, I think I played it. Did I play Modern Warfare? I think that might have been my last Call of Duty. That might have been the last one I played. Until I went back to play Modern Warfare, the newish one. Maybe. I don't really know. Don't really remember. Yeah, I did play Modern Warfare 3 because they had that infected mode on multiplayer. I definitely played it. Yeah, I definitely played it. But back then, though, like gaming, like it was like you could be toxic on the mic, you would never get banned. These days, though, like games have like in like built-in reporting systems. So if somebody's toxic to you, you can report them. You get banned from the servers. Like gaming is too wishy-washy these days, man. It's too wishy-washy. If I play a fucking online game, I want to talk shit to people. And everybody knows it's fucking just banter. It's jokes. Nothing's going to happen. But everything is so sanitized these days. It's just so fucking PC. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. But yeah, Modern Warfare 2 was the peak, I think, for trash talk. It's like the meme. Like, what's that meme? Like, if you was around in a Modern Warfare 2 lobby, you'll survive. Like, you'll get through anything. That was amazing, though, back in the day. But I used to love gaming back in the day. It's kind of insane, though. Like, back then, like, you would never have realized, you wouldn't have believed that people could make money from playing video games. Like, you see these fucking Twitch streamers making silly money playing video games. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Fair play to them both. That's what I say. Fair play to them. If people want to watch that, fair play to them. Streaming, honestly, has to be like the easiest. If you're like a full-time streamer, I would say that's probably the easiest well-paid job you could have, is being a streamer. Yeah, bro, some mad shit was said on those mics, and all of those mics, by the way, back in the day, like if you use like the original Xbox mic or the original PS3 mic, they was always fucking terrible as well. They sounded awful, but it's fucking funny. But yeah, now these days that doesn't really fly like it used to. It still goes on, but not like it used to. I saw some streamer on Twitter. Some guy, I don't know, I don't watch these guys, but some guy basically said on stream, he was trash talking, and he said, "Get back to the kitchen," to some girl on the mic, and they was going mad over it, like trying to cancel this guy. That's mild compared to what was said back in the day. I do remember Chris Smooth, yeah. What commentary channels do you remember back then from G-Man? Okay. Do you remember a guy called Wings of Redemption? Because I found out quite recently that guy still does it. He streams, I think. And bro, if you know who he is, if you knew who he was before, and you go back now and look at it, there's so many rabbit holes with that guy. There's so many rabbit holes with Wings of Redemption. Like there's documentaries made on him. Yes. Bro, there's a big trolling community that surrounds that guy. And it's not like a trolling community as in like he's like an innocent victim. He said a lot of fucked up shit. And he's done a lot of fucked up shit. But it's fascinating. It is fascinating, honestly. It's almost like a social experiment. Go watch like Wings of Redemption fucking like fucking documentaries or something on YouTube. Yeah, he's another one. He's like fucked up as well. But again, these are guys who made some good money back in the day, but they never really. I don't know how much money was going around back then, but they never really capitalized on it, I guess. Do it, Nordic. Do it on Twitch. The only thing with Twitch, bro, you got to be super fucking careful. I'm surprised. Like, I do it on my other channel. I don't push it too hard, but I get 20, 30 people at a time. And I've been playing like Left 4 Dead 2, GTA 4 playthrough. You got to be super fucking careful of what you say. I'm surprised I haven't been banned yet or like suspended, because I use the R word a lot. Like they are that militant. Twitch, really militant. But if you want to stream games, like Twitch is the place to build a platform. See, I've always, it's weird though. Like, I like watch. So I don't follow like the streaming community, but I like watching like meltdowns and things like that. I never understand how like these people can get triggered by having to stream. It's like the dream job. I love streaming on like Twitch when I do it, when I get time to do it. It's fun. I don't give a fuck who watches. It's fun as hell. I don't get how these people can be so fucking ungrateful. Yeah, no doubt. But the whole Wings of Redemption, bro, that whole saga's so fucking interesting. Like, there's so much shit. Like, you'd have to like, if you took like an if you were to in-depth research that guy, all the scandals, it'd probably take you, I'd say, a good month to get a gist of what's gone on from start to now. But again, though, that kind of inspired me as well to kind of make like a commentary channel where I can just talk about random degenerates on the internet, things that are going on in the world. I kind of want to do a commentary channel. But the problem with that, I'll be stretching myself way too thin for time. I've heard the name G-Man, but I don't know anything about him. Yeah, facts, facts. Yeah, honestly, nothing really good comes from Twitter. Seriously. Nothing really good comes from Twitter, to be honest with you. I look at it to see what's going on. Occasionally I'll drop a tweet, but I'll give it a watch, G-Man. That's a good way to be Nordic when it comes to this online social media shit. Because YouTube is social media. If you try to create more than consume, I've got that balance pretty good at the minute. Don't get me wrong, I watch YouTube still. Like I watch guys in this chat. But I try to produce now more than I consume. Yeah, Facebook back in the day was. I don't even have a Facebook anymore. my favorite wings moment when he fucking just had a meltdown. Like, look here, look, listen. Appearing offline doesn't fucking stop it. I went mad. I can't do the accent, but it's so funny. If I could do a screen share, I'd do it, but I don't have to do it. So funny. See, I'd like to see Nordic do like deep dives on like internet personalities and just rip them. Because Nordic, when he puts it on, Nordic can be like super condescending and it rubs people the wrong way. I think Nordic would make a really good commentary channel. Yeah. Do you know my favorite person when he trolls fucking wings? Does anybody remember El Presador? El Presador. That guy, man, when he trolls wings, is so funny. Make a channel, Nordic. Make a channel. Make a separate channel and do it. But yeah, the whole wing saga is that. Now that is something you can easily watch, and before you know it, 3 or 4 hours have gone by. Seriously, the biblical beast, yeah, the puppet master. Oh man, Jesus Christ, Gunga Gunga, Gunga Gunga Gunga. That guy. Oh, there's a video when he did it in a store, man. I wish I could fucking screen share it, man. He did it in a store and he triggered some guy. Oh, I wish I could find the video. I'm better at life than you. I wish I could find this video, man. It's so fucking funny. Uh, uh, Yeah, degenerate nerd. See, I went for it because his original channel got fucking iced. I'm pretty certain. I think he's got another channel, and I was watching just some roast videos of random people. It's fucking jokes, man. Who's the other? There's another degenerate as well in like the gaming thing. What's that guy's name? Some guy called DSP. Yeah, DSP. Yeah, that's the guy. He's another degenerate. I'm just watching his fucking videos now. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That guy is fucking crazy. Yeah, Dark Side Phil, that's the one. So you know who that is, Wings? You know who that is? Do you know who Wings is? Wings of Redemption is Nordic. I want to see how many people know like the Wings like story. It's kind of yeah. El Presador back in the day was so funny, man. But yeah, he got banned. His original channel got banned. Pretty certain. What was that other slob as well? There was some other slob who got like weight loss surgery and completely fucked it up. Guy's name's escaping me. And basically, he was a big YouTuber for a long time, and then he kind of exposed himself. What's this guy's name? Fuck, what's his name? Boogie. Yes, Boogie. See, I find it Nordic. I find it fascinating watching these internet characters. Not as in watching. I don't watch their content, but I like it when people do like deep dives on them and documenting the rise and fall kind of thing. Love it. I just find that content really like even though I don't know these guys, I just find it entertaining. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, Sunny V2, yeah. See, I think Nordic could do a really good job at that. Not like Sunny V2, but you'd be I think Nordic would do more of like an opinion piece and just call these guys for what they are, like complete degenerates. EDP, yeah, he's a nonce, yeah. He just went there for a cupcake. EDP's another one, yeah. See, that's why as well. Like, I've had people hit me up on the other channel, like other YouTubers in and around my size on like the true crime side of shit. That's why I refuse to collab as well. Like, that's one of the main reasons I refuse to collab, because if any of those other people get caught up in some shit, like automatically it kind of looks bad on you. Oh, I don't want to deal with that shit. Yeah, G-Man Unfiltered on Wings of Redemption. That's what I'm saying. Like G-Man's got the whole. He's getting the documentary vibe down with his boxing videos, so he could take that to like. You could take that to a commentary type scenario, and you could do it. See, for me, I think I would feel bad about being mean after a while. Like a guy like Wings, I think I'd feel bad because it feels like kicking down. But at the same time, the guy had a great opportunity and he squandered it. And the few remaining supporters he's got, he just takes advantage of. And he said loads of fucked up shit as well, so I probably shouldn't feel bad. But exactly, yeah, facts. Yeah, facts. Facts. Even with like most boxers, man, like most boxers these days, I could give a fuck less about, honestly. But yeah, commentary channels, like, they're still popping. Problem with commentary channels, though, you're gonna have to do some sort of. You don't really even have to do some fancy editing. Like, your main footage could be gameplay of something, just a random game. You can like download free gameplays, just say it's you, or just use it as a background filler. Interject it with images and like memes. You know, clean sounding mic, and you could do it. I listen. I thought about a fucking commentary channel, G-man. I've even got the name ready if I do it. But if I did a commentary channel, I don't think I would keep it exclusively just to like internet personalities. I think I'd talk about all sorts of shit. And also, the thing is with a commentary channel, I don't think I could do like a schedule upload thing. I'd have to do videos when I think of them, or when it comes, or something comes to me. That's the only thing. Just seems really fun doing a commentary video or commentary videos. Yeah, like James Corden. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, talk about all sorts of shit. Yeah, I've been copyrighted on my other channel, Nordic, for using like 5 seconds of Channel 4 footage. Like, well, maybe a bit more than 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. And I got copyrighted. So I delete. It wasn't like a copyright strike. So basically, what it was, the video was fine. There was no strike, but anything that was made from that video would go to Channel 4. So I deleted. I fucking re-edited it and uploaded it again. So they weren't going to make any money from it. Fuck Channel 4. If it was some random tin pot company, I wouldn't have cared, but I'm not giving Channel 4 any money. Fuck that shit. Yep. All over my feed, Nordic. Best boxer of all time? Hard to say, bro. My favorite boxer of all time is James Toney. My favorite boxer right now is the man on the screen, Artur Beterbiev. Yeah, YouTube now is not really for the creator, like the independent creator. You see CNN, Fox, Sky, Channel 4, BBC, all of these guys are all over YouTube now. And that's the reason. That's the only reason they got rid of dislikes on YouTube, was because of when these mainstream media companies started to come across. Obviously, you would get government press releases, etc. And that's the only reason why dislikes were taken off YouTube, because if you saw a certain government press release, let's say, for example, COVID, something to do with COVID, and you see the video get mass disliked, you realize you're not alone in your own thoughts, that this is nonsense. That's why dislikes were removed, to kind of dampen that atmosphere of disagreeableness, I would say. That's really it. That's the only reason dislikes were removed from YouTube. That's it. That's the only reason. They came out with some bullshit. Oh, it's to protect small creators from getting dislike bombed. Nonsense. We all know that's nonsense. Yeah, it's about it's to control the narrative. Yeah, to make you feel like you're alone. Yeah, exactly, Nordic. Exactly. But we all know, we all remember the YouTube dislike ratio when it was still there on these sort of videos. It was always universally disliked more than liked. Like remember the Gillette shaving advert, that woke advert. Like I think that might have been like one of the biggest dislike ratios you'll see for such content. It was universally dislike bombed. Like madness. But yeah, that's a bad. That was bad. You can still find. You can actually download plugins though on like Google Chrome if you use Chrome to see dislikes. You can still see them if you download a plugin. Yeah, Gillette advert and a comic called New Warriors, I think, had the most dislikes ever, if I'm not mistaken. The comic had like 1 million dislikes and only a few thousand, mostly bot likes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've had that as well. Again, YouTube won't sort that sort of shit out, though. YouTube won't sort that out, though. They'll leave shit like that, and they'll fucking take away dislikes and do nonsense that nobody asked for. Because when you're looking for something on YouTube back in the day, you could see the like-dislike ratio before you clicked on it. So you knew basically if a video was like clickbait bullshit, it would get disliked, and you knew not to click on it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, you know when you're like looking for a fight the next day, like a fight, and let's say there was a video with like a bet, like loads of dislikes, you knew that was a fucking bullshit video. But now you can't see that shit unless you download a plugin. Have 2 used tampons or double it for the next person. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm fucking knackered, super tired. But yeah. Yeah, the full fight review days, facts. It's still there, but dislike, I'm pretty certain the dislike button is still there. You just can't see it. Like, viewers can't see it, like how many dislikes it's got. Which is fucking stupid, but there you go. That's YouTube for you. Yeah, good night, guys. I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'll try and be more consistent with the content. But yeah, have a good weekend, guys. Well, where are we now? Wednesday. Yeah, have a good rest of your week. Peace.